be free. I take the weight on my shoulders. I feel the sky come down on me, and I can't hold it much longer. Gotta let go so I can be free. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, let's do this. FT Live on a Monday. Oh, so much juice from the weekend. I cannot wait to get into it. No,
nothing happened this week.
Nothing happened this weekend.
Not one thing.
Actually, most importantly, Lorenzo Kanes is back with us. And LoCain had one of the most special retirement ceremonies I've ever seen. And the speech absolutely stole the show because, and maybe it's foul territory appearances giving him even more confidence with the mic. He had no script, ad-lib, perfect pauses and timing and emotion. And Ma was there, and she came up and gave a hug during the speech. It is 5 minutes, and it's all over our Foul Territory Twitter from the weekend if you want to check it out. It is beautiful. LoCain, how incredible was that for you on the field with one of the better crowds, too? I mean, Kansas City during that run, their fan base was so kind and so appreciative of everything that you and the boys were able to do.
100%. I really appreciate those fans. Let me tell you, they know how to show you a good time. It was magical out there. It was special. You know, the love, the energy that I felt from that stadium, man. It just overcame me with emotions, and I just couldn't get it together out there. You know, I had so much more I wanted to say, but just the cheering, my mom, you know, all my coaches, just the Kansas City Royals in general, everybody that showed up, you know, it was a packed house, and it was awesome. And for anybody, I just really really wish that everyone could have an opportunity to celebrate and have a retirement party like that, because man, that was some kind of special.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Yeah, good for you. Congratulations. You know, I don't know what to say because you nailed the speech. The Royals nailed the moment, as they should have. You know, they should have had they should have had the whole team. They should have like a team reunion or something.
They can't. Most of them are playing.
No, dude.
Some of them are playing. Hosmer can't go.
They won in 15. It's not like they won for 20 years.
Guthrie was there. Obviously, Salvi's there. Yeah. And he's, I think, the only one left on Royals still. But Hosmer's playing. Okay. Moustakis is playing.
Alex Gordon.
Gordon was there.
Oh, he was there? Okay, I didn't see him. Look, I didn't see him. My bad.
Leave it to AJ to do an attendance list on who's there. Yeah. No, there were a lot of people there.
Okay. No, I know.
Yeah. Was there anyone missing that you missed?
Ned Yost was there. You know, we didn't have Holland or Wade. You know, they couldn't make it. I talked to them. They couldn't make it. But, you know, they wished me. We're in a group text, so, they congratulated me and you know, wished me the best. But they couldn't make it. You know, events is taking over their life right now. So I completely understand.
Yeah, and you had some former teammates that are still playing ball.
Couple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did they send video messages?
Yes, I got it all. Like I said, we're in a group text with all those guys. So we talk, I feel like almost every day. So it's constant in this group for sure.
Before we get into all the drama and the juicy stuff, I just want to run that first pitch for Lo. And he was with his kids. And for the press conference with the signing the one-day contract, he was with his kids as well. So let's run that.
One last thing. Now that Lorenzo's retired, he's done making throws from center field. But he is going to throw out the first pitch tonight. However, that throw has to begin somehow from center field, right? So Lorenzo and Jenny's boys, Cameron, Jaden, and Landon, are going to get that first pitch from center field to their dad on the mound. Now, I don't know if any of these three are going to make it to the big leagues, but before they go home, let's let them hear some Kansas City love. All right, Landon, you go first. Jaden. Lorenzo.
It doesn't get any more beautiful
That is
than
awesome.
that.
That's why you play the outfield, LoCain, because the only person that can't catch is you.
Yeah, come on, Dad, make a play for him. You know,
I mean, come
Dad.
on.
Jeez.
That's why Salvi was back there backing you up on the throw.
Yeah, that was sick. That was sweet.
No, that was great. So we've
Yeah.
had LoCain throw out the first pitch. I threw out the first pitch. Frazier threw out the first pitch.
hmm
We're missing a couple.
Who's next? Well,
I don't know.
Kipnis,
Brock Holt,
Brock in Boston, Kip in Cleveland,
Kratz in
everywhere.
Syracuse.
No, Kratz going. If we did a tour, just like Kratz hats, of him going across the country to every major and minor league team that he ever played for to throw a first pitch out, he'd never be back on the show again.
It's true. It'd be a
He'd be
lot.
on tour for like 100 days. So we'll get into a few more things from LoCain's experience in Kansas City, seeing some of the guys, some of the vets that he played with. But let's charge the damn mound, because the leadoff story is Wilson Contreras making a move from catcher to outfield and DH. Nope, scratch that. The next day, the Cardinals were like, actually just DH. An absolute disaster going on right now in Birdland. They are 11-24. They're in desperation mode, which we went over a couple weeks ago with Jordan Walker getting sent back down to the minor leagues, even though he was hitting 270 something and he looked fine to me. Obviously, yeah, the power hadn't totally come around yet, but it had been a few weeks in the big. So next up, your catcher current signs a 5-year, $87.5 million deal. Last year in September, Yachty, who knew he was retiring, gave a assigned uni to Contreras. And he said instead of framing it, he put it on. Maybe he framed it now, but he put it on and was like, this is what I want to do. I want to replace Yachty and be the next great catcher in St. Louis, which he was able to do for a full month. He was able to experience it.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to be that guy.
What, putting the uniform on and replacing that guy?
You don't want to be the guy who replaces the guy.
Well,
You
now
want to
he's
be
not.
the guy. You always want to be the second guy. You want to be the guy that replaces the guy that replaced Yachty. So whoever's after Contreras, that's who you want to be, because everyone is kind of, oh, Yachty was so long ago. The problem is with this whole move is LoCain. They gave him almost $90 million. And the Astros, let's not forget, the Astros didn't want to trade for him last year.
Mhm.
They said they got a trade done, and I think Dusty Baker was like, no, we don't want him. And then nobody really was after hot and heavy that much, except for the Cardinals this offseason. It's telling when the Cubs, who spent some money this offseason, didn't bring him back. And there was really no interest in bringing him back. This wasn't a really poorly hidden secret that Wilson Contreras wasn't the greatest catcher in the world. Now, he's got a great arm, but as far as calling games, you talk to the Cubs guys and people with inside that organization, they say, well, calling games, we'd have to kind of call some pitches from the bench, I heard. We'd have to go through scouting reports constantly with him. He wouldn't remember. And that's tough. So the Cardinals go out and they spend almost $90 million on this guy, and 33 games into the year, they're like, oh, by the way, you're a DH now. And Kinsler, you're the catcher. And by the way, we're bringing up another guy, and you're going to play the outfield. No, wait, you're not going to play the outfield. You're going to sit over here and learn from the coaches during the game while you're trying to DH. You're also going to try to call the game along with them. So this whole thing is just a mess. And I feel like, listen, Wilson Contreras isn't this bad. And they're just scapegoating him right now because they're, 11-24? It's like he's getting all the blame for this. And their pitching staff's not great. We've kind of talked about that. Their starters especially aren't great. Their bullpen's kind of been up and down. And everyone says, oh, he skipped the WBC to focus on his pitchers. Well, let's not forget the Cardinals' whole team was in the WBC. Gallegos pitched, Wainwright pitched, Michaelis pitched. So even though he was there, the rest of the dudes weren't there. So it's not all on him. There's something else going on here that someone needs to come up and say, hey, listen, we need to be better. And they just need to be better.
The comments are on fire here, too. Daddy Padre, Mo blaming his all-star catcher, treating him like a 5-year-old who's never caught ever is a wild move 1 month into a 5-year deal. Ask AJ if Mo is as arrogant as he comes off in the media. He goes, Mo said we have 6 starters. LOL, you don't have 2 starters. I'm seeing a Mo needs to go. Would love to hear these chants break out in the stadium along with the boos. St. Louis deserves so much better than this clown show. I mean, people are freaking out. Jackson said, I don't know how defensive metrics are calculated, but Fangraphs has a positive number for Wilson's defense, number 5 overall ahead of Real Muto, Rutschman. I mean, it is on absolute fire in the chat already, knowing that we were going to get into this right off the jump. All Starland Cardinals are in a tailspin. So add all of that up, LoCain. For you, I mean, you signed with Milwaukee as a free agent, actually somewhat of a similar deal. Imagine if you joined that ball club and then 5 minutes into your tenure, they were like, you know what? We're just going to DH you. We're not really liking what we're seeing about you in the outfield, even though we promised you'd have a spot, obviously, this whole time, and we gave you a ton of money for it.
And that's the thing. Somebody's making mistakes somewhere. Where, I'm not sure. But you give a guy that kind of money, if you, like I said, you gave me that kind of money, I will go out there and make plays on the defensive side of the ball. And he has to find a way to gel with his pitchers and find that chemistry, whatever is going on. I mean, the question is, whose fault is it? Yachty had basically the same pitching staff, and he did just fine, but that's Yachty. And now Contreras is here, and it's like, oh, we're trying to figure things out. What's going on? So that's the question, like, whose fault is it? And they have to figure it out. He can't DH. Like, DH, that just can't happen. It's the first year of the deal. And finding a way to connect and figure out whatever is going on, because the Cardinals pitching staff has been consistent as far as I can remember. So whatever's going on, it has to be figured out. It has to be corrected as soon as possible, because people say it's early in the season. It's early in the season, but these games matter in September. I promise you.
I want to show Mike Petriello's tweet. That's one that stood out to me, talking about the Cardinals starting pitching, because I've been on this since the start of this show, and Mike echoed those thoughts. This is more than a little oversimplifying, because there's a lot a catcher does that we can't quantify, and Contreras' D has been a question for years. But St. Louis starting pitching preseason projection from Fangraphs, 20th. St. Louis starting pitching current WAR rank, 20th. There's at least a little, they are who they thought they were here.
Denny Green. They are. If you want to crown their ass, crown them.
Who they thought they were with their starting pitching. And the biggest problem is you dig yourself into a hole, and now we have these recent comebacks like 2019 Washington Nationals. Everyone knows the numbers, 19-31. Philadelphia Phillies last year got themselves in a hole. Big difference. They had absolute bulldogs at the top of their rotation. Nola and Wheeler last year to stop losing streaks and also start winning streaks, right? If you can get the back end of the rotation to show up, which it certainly did. And then you go back a few years prior, that was Strasburg's big year. He gave him 200-something. He gave him more innings that season, I think, than he's given him for the rest of his career there, basically. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but then also Max was there. They don't have that.
No, they don't. They don't have that guy that can come in and say, I'm going to go 7 shutty, 12 punchies, boys, score 1 run, we win tonight. They have soft contact guys who are supposed to get ground balls. And the infield defense is great. The problem is they're not getting ground balls. They're getting too many fly balls. And we've already talked about the outfield and how they don't know who the heck's playing in the outfield. One day it's Newbar, Carlson, O'Neill. The next day it's Walker's in AAA, or they try this guy or they try that guy. There's not a consistent thing. The other thing people aren't talking about, Nolan Arenado. I think it's his lot before. He's had RBIs in 3 straight games. He went 19 games, I think, and had 1 RBI and maybe 2 extra base hits. So let's not forget that it's not just Wilson Contreras. It is a bunch of dudes that just aren't doing what they are supposed to be doing. Now, Goldschmidt's hotter than crap right now. He had 3 home runs yesterday. But Arenado, before the last 3 games, wasn't hitting at all. The rest of the team is kind of like, okay. Because they're built on Newbar and what's the other? Donovan getting on base. So Arenado, Contreras, and Goldschmidt can drive them in. They're built to score like 5 runs a game. That's how their team is constructed. They're not built to win 3-2 games. They're built to win 5-4 games, 7-4 bludgeon teams. And right now the offense also isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So this is just for me, this is just a complete organizational kind of meltdown, not just Wilson Contreras. I feel bad for Wilson Contreras because I don't feel that bad. He got $87.5 million, but I feel kind of bad because he's taking a lot of the heat here, when in reality, there's a lot of guys, a lot of blame to go around.
That's the thing. So getting questions like, do you notice these flaws that Contreras is being blamed for? Framing, game planning, etc.?
Well, the thing for me is when you're a catcher, as a former catcher, and Lorenzo, you're a center fielder, and you took pride in catching everything that was hit out there, correct?
Correct.
Like, if there was a ball hit out there, I'm going to go get it no matter what. As a catcher, you take pride in calling the game and picking the right pitch, hopefully. Now, again, with the pitch clock and the timer, it's so fast now. You have to get a call in right away. There's not a breath to think and say, okay, what's the next pitch? We called this. And then they had the wristband where you were like, okay, we're going to run the cover 2 instead of the prevent. Okay, cover 3, nope, cover 0. Okay, right? With the pitch, they give you all the signs. Well, then now, because of the time, it's all right, I got to hurry up, cover up my leg, and I got to play the video game, put in the right pitch. And it's got to happen fast. And the pitchers for the Cardinals also, for the last 20 years, they never shook. They only put down what Yachty called. There was no oh, man, I got to think about what pitch to call next. Oh, no, Yachty puts on 2. Okay, let's throw a curveball. It was that, right? So it was fast. He's not there anymore. And that's not a knock on Contreras, but now they're saying, well, he's not calling the right pitches. Well, I also want to hear some of the pitchers come out and say something. Like, who went to the organization and said, it's Wilson Contreras' fault? Which pitcher was it? Was it Wayne? It wasn't Wayne, right? He's only had 1 start. Was it Flaherty? Was it Matz? Was it Michaelis? Montgomery? He's been all right. Which pitcher went to him and said, it was me? Or was this an organizational decision? Somebody had to say something. It's not like the organization was like, oh, man, this guy stinks. We just signed him to a 5-year deal. Somebody had to go behind the scenes and say, he's not doing something right. Well, who was it? Man up. Somebody come out and say it, right, Lo? Someone's going to say it. Say it. Who was it? Steven Matz? Was it you? I'm not saying it was. Jack Flaherty? Was it you? I don't know.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. For me, it's like you said, there's no one coming out and backing him. I was a guy that tried to, be accountable for, if I was playing terrible in outfield, hey, I take the blame. I need to make plays. I need to do this. I need to do that better. But like you said, where did the blame come from? And to me, it's scary when you don't hear your teammates coming out and backing you. And that's another question mark. So I'm unsure what to think about the whole situation. But for me, my starting pitching, they need to come out, back me, and say, hey, over time, he'll improve. Right now, we're not comfortable with throwing to him right now, whatever the case may be. But as things go, we have to figure it out. That's why they paid him,
Sit down with the man, right?
Yeah.
Sit down with the man and say, all right, before every start, we need to sit down for an hour and talk. And take the little quarterback wristband, put it on, and write exactly pitch by pitch what you want to throw, dudes. Okay. Yeah. And then put it in a little button. Hit the little button.
Pitchers call their own pitchers pretty much the whole game.
You can do that now too. If you're not comfortable with Wilson
Contreras,
Contreras,
the pitch, just come up with it yourself.
But the little pitch column on your glove.
These guys are all used to just not thinking about shit because Yachty can call the game better than they can. He can call the game better than anyone. So why?
I take offense to that.
You're not in the game anymore.
Okay.
If you were playing, then maybe I would include you. Fine. One of the best.
He was. No, I'm not arguing that.
Of all time.
I agree. Yes, agree.
So when you do that as a pitcher, don't you just say, screw it. I'm just, whatever he puts down there, I'm just not thinking. All I'm thinking about is executing and having a good time and playing catch with my catcher.
Yes.
Now, you don't have someone like that because the Cardinals also misread the room by saying, oh, pitch comm, it's fine. We don't have to worry as much about game planning now. And also, we don't need a ton of swing and miss in our rotation, even though now shift restrictions are going to be in play and more balls are going to get through. They misread how the game is evolving.
So you're saying it's an organizational mess?
There's a whole mess, but yeah, it starts at the organization. Here's why. They signed him
to a huge deal.
Yes.
And couldn't wait to sign him.
And as you'll hear later in the week with Ken Rosenthal, and also on Fair Territory, because that show's already out on Pod and it'll be out later, the video version, they had trade discussions with the A's about Sean Murphy, who right now looks like a top 3 catcher in the sport.
He looks like the best catcher in baseball right now. I saw him this weekend. That dude is a stud.
He is a ridiculous stud.
He's swinging it.
Yes.
And, dude, he made a throw on Saturday. Woo, boy, he would have thrown out LoCain by 5 steps. Them old knees wouldn't have been going. I would have been so far out.
I don't know about that one now.
I'm telling you, this dude.
Don't start.
I mean, it was like,
woo! I want to give respect to Real Muto. But yes, no, I agree. Murphy,
right now, I'll throw Murphy's numbers up against anybody.
He is the number 1 catcher. And here's the thing. Apparently, the discussion was Lars Nootbaar, Brendan Donovan and a power pitching prospect. I didn't get the name or that it wasn't released for Sean Murphy. Now, I think Ken spoke to Mo, and it was kind of like hindsight situation. Fuck yeah, they would have made that trade now.
Oh, you would. Well, yeah, especially if they have Walker, because that clears up spot for Walker.
That trade would have been a ripoff now. Plus, Gorman's great, and you're good. I mean, I think Gorman should be playing every day, and you're good there. And I mean, a few years ago, he was one of the top prospects, so he's good. I think he'll be a regular starter for years to come, no doubt about it. So Donovan's great.
Yeah.
But in a trade for Murphy, are you kidding me?
I don't think anybody saw the offense coming from Murphy, though. That's the thing. The Gold Glove catching.
He has swung the bat well.
He swung the bat better than I think people anticipated.
And he was the focal point of the offense last year. When you game planned last year for the A's, you said, "Oh, just pitch around Murphy and we'll win."
Yeah.
They didn't have anybody.
Yeah.
They don't have anyone this year.
Yeah. What? Well, hindsight's 20/20.
You're not getting Murphy.
You ain't getting Murphy now. That's for damn sure.
He's a Brave for life.
He signed a long. Yeah, and they could have locked him up for what did he sign? 6 years, $72 million.
Whatever it was.
It was less than Contreras.
Less than Contreras, and he's younger than Contreras. So it's just a huge whiff on many fronts.
I don't think the Cardinals have a catching guy. I don't think they have ever needed one because they had Yachty for 20 years. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they have like an organizational What's the organization? Listen, Lo, you switch teams. I switch teams as a catcher. Everyone has different terminology, so I don't want to hear that you got to learn new terminology. It's all the same. Up and in, down and away, make good pitches, don't give me anything good to hit, but don't walk them. I mean, it's all the same stuff you hear over and over. Mm-hmm. It's more about how you talk to the pitchers and how you learn what they want to hear and where you set up. But that's supposed to be learned in spring training, but it's also you can learn that pretty quickly with a guy, especially the Cardinals guys. They're veteran guys. They don't have it's like they have 5 rookies in their rotation. They got 5 guys that have been around a little bit. So this should be a 5-minute conversation. Hey, Wilson, I need you to set up 3 inches more outside. Okay, sure. Then you go in the bullpen and you say, okay, I'm here. I'm going to move 3 inches this way. Is that better? No, I like it. Do this. Okay, I'll turn. I'll do this. That's how it goes. And, I don't like the pitch you're calling. Okay, guess what, superstar? I'm going to give you this little machine. You can put it on your glove. You can hit a button, and you can tell me in my ear what pitch you want to throw. But if you do that, guess what? You got nobody to blame but one person, and that's yourself. You can't blame anybody else if you hit the button and you say, I want to throw a slider, and you hang that slider and the guy hits a home run with 2 strikes because they're giving up too many two-strike hits, homers, all that. But if you do that, always remember, there's no one else to blame except for yourself. So if you go, do-do-do-do-do, Wilson, here comes a slider, boom, hangy-bangy, guess what? It's my fault now. So that, to me, is a bigger issue Contreras is fine. He's swinging the bat actually really well. That's why they want him to DH. But come on, guys.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is it a trust issue, or I don't like you said it's a veteran staff, so it doesn't make sense because they can go like simply, you're a catcher, go up and let them know what they want, what pitches they want exactly. So I don't. That's what's so baffling and confusing about the entire situation because veteran staff, they've been pitching together for a while now. I've seen the way they work together, so I don't know where the mix-up is. Honestly, I really don't know.
Smart fans in the chat pointing out the Flaherty quote, which I forgot about. I mean, he basically blamed him, Jack, to the public.
What did he say?
He was saying the 2-strike approach is
Wilson
not
Contreras?
there. So,
again,
from his last start, 7 of the 9 hits allowed by Flaherty came with 2 strikes. Mm-hmm. And then Flaherty spoke about it afterward. 2-strike hits, whatever that comes down to. Whatever the hell we're doing as a staff is pretty bad staff. Way too many 2-strike hits today. It was like 2-1 hit, bad count, falling behind. Even if we fell behind, got back in the count, made pitches to get to 2 strikes, then had too many balls hit hard. That's frustrating throughout our whole staff. Throwing pitches that don't make sense. That is directly calling out your catcher for not making the right calls behind the plate with your pitching staff. Because he didn't even just say him. He said staff, and he said throwing pitches that don't make sense.
Okay, so if you... I got to walk a line here as a former catcher because it's your ball. If I'm the pitcher, it is my freaking ball. I got the ball in my hand. I can throw whatever pitch I want to throw. If I want to throw a damn 0-2 high hitter and the catcher puts down slider, all I got to do is go, nope. And he puts down slider again, and you go, nope. And then he puts it down again, and you say, nope. And guess what the catcher's going to do? Timeout. And you go to the mound, and then you say, hey, Jack, what do you want to throw? He goes, high fastball. Then you say, okay, well, I think slider. You give him reasons. He gives you his reasons. Okay, guess what, Jack? It's your ball. You win. Throw me the high fastball. Then it gets hit. Just saying. Say it gets hit. Guess what? You only got one person to blame. It goes back to that. Me. So guess what? Take the little buttons, put them on your little glove, and call whatever you want. Because I've always said, if you want to call the game, do it. And I caught pitchers that called Zach Greinke in Kansas City. He'll look right at, when he was in Houston, the famous thing, he's like, curveball. You could see him say it. Curveball. I'm throwing a curveball. Right? There was guys we would catch with their mouth. They'd try to like hide it, and you'd like look down as a hitter, and they'd say, fastball away. You could see it. So on the bench, we'd catch it, and you'd act like you're looking down, but you're kind of like, oh, fastball away. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. And then there was guys I played with. El Duque was one. The way he caught the ball, the way he turned was what pitch he wanted to throw next.
So he was tipping with,
but nobody would ever notice
gestures.
Yeah. But like if he'd catch it and turn left, it was like this pitch. If he caught it and turned right, or if he caught it, like if he grabbed his belt, it was something. It was like it was hard to keep up with because it changed every day, and you're like, gosh, which one are we on? So, and then there was times like El Duque, I'd go out to the mound, and he'd be like, what do you want to throw? And he'd say, slider, first pitch. Go out to the mound, I turn around and get back behind the plate, and I put the slider, and he'd go. I'm like, wait, okay, what is he? So then he'd throw whatever. After the end, he'd be like, hey, we talked about slider. He goes, yeah, but I thought the hitter was thinking that, so I changed my mind when you ran back. So it's like, wait. But that's just how pitchers are.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you can blame whoever you want to blame. Blame the catcher, blame whatever. But there's a mirror. When I was bad, I was bad. I had bad fingers today. I had a bad day. But there's also a mirror where you got to say as a pitcher, I'm not making the pitches I'm supposed to be making. You can say there's pitches that don't make sense. Well, then, nope, don't want to throw that pitch. It doesn't make sense. Okay, what do you want to throw? Boop, 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 boop. Let's play the video game. Wilson, here comes slider. Move on. Mm-hmm. But that, to me, that's it. I don't know. I'm not in the locker room every day. I'm not there every day. But that, to me, it's more of a we're not making pitches and we need someone to blame kind of deal.
Well, I agree with that 100%. I mean, it's as simple as that, call your own game. Have you ever got into it with other, guys?
Of course.
On pitches and
of course you do. Of course.
Okay.
Listen, as a catcher, I could tell you tons of stories of why you want to throw that. Okay, well, I don't think that's the right pitch. Okay, well, why not? And then or they give up a hit, and then you have words, but it's understand. But again, it's the pitcher's ball at the end of the day. I'm giving suggestions as the catcher.
Right.
It's
It's not my way or the high. Now, the only guy I ever caught that never shook was Burley. Mm-hmm. He just was like, I don't care if you put down a pitch and I make the pitch that I'm supposed to make, then it doesn't matter. I mean, listen, this is crazy stuff with Mark Burley. He was a completely different animal. I mean, we would have Jermaine Dye calling pitches during games sometimes in right field. So, I mean, listen, it's a completely different thing. But if you want control with today's game, take control of the game. Put the thing on your glove. Put the thing on your hip. Put the thing under your arm like Shohei does. Call your own game, and then you take everything out of it except for execution, and let's see what happens. Do that for the next 34 games. Cardinals, see what happens.
They're calling out Contreras' prep. Mo said it hasn't worked out like they thought it would. It's going to require more prep. St. Louis, and essentially said St. Louis doesn't have confidence in him. Jeez, it's been a month.
What prep?
He's been in your division forever.
Sit him down.
It's hard to fathom all of that so quickly. And here's my other part. So this comes out on Saturday. I remember seeing it, and the Cardinals lost again a one-run game back-to-back days to Detroit. And Detroit, I think, is terrible, but they're having a really good week. They swept the Mets too, so I will give them that. But
is that the standard now? They swept the Mets?
Well, no, they swept the Mets, and now they take two from the Cardinals, who I don't think are this bad, by the way. I think there's an organizational issue that's making them way worse. Every week, we've got drama right now. Manager calling someone out, sending down your top prospect, who was like a very, very heavy favorite by many. Well, not heavy, but obviously there's Corbin Carroll, and now Outman's playing well. But mean, pretty good looking prospect who was supposed to do big things and wasn't bad. And they just don't know how to put the puzzle pieces together. And then, wait, ready for this, Lo? So I this is why I love this show, because you guys played for a long time. Can you imagine, right? You signed your big ass deal. You're with the team. Now they demote you from your spot. They come out and say publicly to the media, okay, Wilson Contreras not going to be a catcher anymore. He'll be our outfielder and our DH. One day later, just kidding, just DH. And when they spoke to Wilson about it, he's like DH. So I'm like, you're not on the same page. You're saying he's not on the same page with his pitchers? You're not on the same page. Unless he's calling you out or you said, hey, we want you to be outfield and he doesn't want to play outfield. How the fuck does that happen?
It can't happen. I mean, that's like me. Hey, Lorenzo, go play first base. I know we signed you to play center field. Go play first base. Go DH. It just can't happen. They have to find a way to figure it out at the end of the day. Like, your deal. What are we doing?
What was I saw some quotes from Contreras about this too, and he said, yeah, they called me in and just told me, and he was kind of trying. Listen, I give him a lot of credit because he was playing the good soldier. Now he wasn't.
Contreras?
Yeah. I give him a lot of, because listen, Lorenzo, you would have had me, you signed me to a 5-year deal for $90 million. Guess what? You come in a month later and you say you're moving to the outfield, we're going to have a problem. Like, we're going to have, it's not going to be all roses and candy. I mean, it's going to be like Scott said, what the F is going on here? Because I mean, you just signed me to be your catcher. Now you want me to be DH out, and you just call me in one day and say, hey, guess what? You're not the catcher anymore?
No.
Dude, there's going to be some words there for Mozeliak or Ollie Marmol or whoever's making this call, because, okay, my next thing is going to be, what am I doing wrong? And if they just say, well, we don't like the preparation. Okay, walk me through what you want my preparation to be. Sit me down, and this should have started in spring training. Sit me down and tell me what my prep needs to be. What do I need to do? Because I want to catch. If I'm a catcher, I want to catch. Right. And Contreras says, I want to catch. Okay, walk me through what my day should be like. But do it privately. Say, okay, what they should have done is said, and again, I'm not there, so I don't know. But in my opinion, hey, Wilson Contreras has a sore hamstring. He's not going to catch for 3 or 4 days. Boom. You sit him down and you say, okay, day one, here's what we want you to do. Bring Yachty in if you need to. Bring Yachty in. This is what your day is. And have him walk with Contreras full a day. This is what you got to do. Okay, got it. Day 2, let him do it maybe. Okay, here's my day. Okay, have Yachty watch him. Okay, day 3, simulate like he's catching that day. Go through his prep. Take the starting pitcher. Sit down with him like you do every day. Talk. Okay, day 4, his hamstring's better. He can catch. I don't know. It just seems like there's better ways to do this.
They don't want him back. They didn't say he's taking a hiatus from catching.
Well, they kind of said there's no timetable. No timetable.
Sure. So basically they're saying at some point, Yachty will manage this team. We are begging him right now to manage it this second, or at least be part of the coaching staff. But maybe we get him for 2024 because he wants to at least enjoy a few months to himself. And then he'll be a part of this ball club, and then he'll groom Contreras, or he'll just call the damn pitches from the dugout himself, and we'll be happy and we'll be fine because we can't live without him. When does Yachty manage or be a part of this coaching staff?
I don't think he will.
Really?
Honestly, I don't think he will.
I think they're going to offer him like $6-7 million a year.
Nobody offers their manager that anymore.
Joe Madden had that, right?
He's the last one. Nobody else.
No one's even close to 5 anymore?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, Yachty's going to get 5.
You think?
If it fixes the ball club and he's calling pitches and he's running shit like he was doing for the past 20 years.
So you just think that he could just step in and that's it?
I don't think
Everything
it'll
will
hurt.
Be cured?
I don't
fix
think
the whole
it'll hurt.
Organization.
First, you have a whole generation of pitchers in that organization that when they're with the big league ball club, they just close their eyes and Yachty does everything for them.
Anymore. He's not catching anymore.
Okay, but if he's in the dugout and if he's part of the club, and can he call pitches from the dugout?
That's what we don't want.
But he could. He could give a sign, right? He could just be looking over at Yachty each time.
He's going to be like, like they do like in high school. In college, they get the walkie-talkie. To call this pitch.
Right. You can't do that from the dugout yet.
You shouldn't be able to do that. I don't think it's the big leagues.
I agree, but I'm just saying
It's the big leagues.
something's going to happen here. Yachty can go over sequences each time, and he was a magnificent in-game adjuster too. Because that was the other thing. I don't remember the
Here's
exact.
thing about Yachty. Yachty pitched everyone backwards. Lorenzo, how many games you play against Cardinals? It was whoop, first pitch breaking ball, whoop, 2-0 breaking ball. He had guys that could do it.
It worked.
He had guys that could do it, though. If you don't have those guys, if I don't have a guy that can throw a 2-0 breaking ball, guess what I ain't calling? A 2-0 breaking ball because I'm going to be 3-0.
But they were good last year, and it's essentially the same staff.
Well, they had a healthy Wayne, right, who had a great year.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Michaelis had a great year. He's off to not the same start.
Mm-hmm.
Mats was okay, but remember they got Quintana. They were kind of floundering until they got Quintana and Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
But they were kind of 500-ish. Oh, we made the trades. Oh, boom, now we took off, make the playoffs. But it's not like they were setting the world on fire. They had a better bullpen. Their bullpen was better last year.
I'm being told Dave Roberts is making $6.5 million.
Oh, okay. Well, there's one.
Is that like on the record?
Who told you that?
Mark?
Oh, what does he know?
You don't know?
Yachty might, maybe he's ready to relax and enjoy the family, you know? He's been catching for so many years. Maybe it's time to relax for a little bit. What do you guys think? Huh?
I thought that. I was like, he doesn't need to do it low. And I was like, yeah, at some point, maybe he comes back. Because I said, I think last week or the week before, I was like, nah, I don't see it right now. Yeah. And then Cardinals fans were like, really? He wants to manage.
Just because the Cardinals fans want him to be the manager
Cardinals fans
doesn't mean
smart.
he wants to be the manager.
Yeah, well, they're gonna
Cardinals fans have been
manifest
booing, which, by the way, best fans in baseball.
Yeah, they're booing their club because they're terrible.
I know, but they
are
never
they booing
did
the
that.
club or are they booing the organization?
You're gonna have to ask all the fans in the chat.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put this out there in the chat right now. Who are you booing? I know what they're gonna say. They're gonna say Mo because he runs the front office.
Mark, bad info.
I knew it.
No way, because Madden was the last one, and after that, no, they don't pay these guys nothing.
Edit that out. Nope, can't.
I mean, nothing is relative.
Yeah, there's guys making millions though.
Yeah, but not
Girardi when he signed with the Phils. I want to say it was like maybe 3.
Yeah, that's 6.5 and 3 are huge difference.
I know, but 5 for Yachty. You call him right now, Yachty. 5 years.
I don't think he'll do it.
35.
Especially after taxes.
Yeah. 5 years, 35. Huge signing
5
bonus.
years, 35. That's 7 a year. I'll take that.
Fine.
Mozeliak, call me. 5 years, 35. Done.
Braun had bad math. 5 years, 35. We'll go to 7. Are you in? You have to be here tomorrow. Okay? I need you here tomorrow because we can't afford to have more bullshit games like we've been having right now. We just lost a series to the Tigers.
Call LoCain. He'll be my bench coach.
Now, with all of that being said,
outfield coach, let's go.
They're not that far back.
9
games back is not crazy.
Yeah, the problem is, aren't they in last place?
Yes, but the division's not good. The Pirates are not good.
Oh, man. Yeah.
They're not.
Did they lose 6 this week?
7 in a row.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Back-to-back sweeps. And come on, give me a little.
Brewers lost 6 in a row.
You weren't on Friday's show, but I continued to emphasize, I've been mentioning it often, the Pirates are not good. They had a nice start. If this happened in August, you'd be like, that's cute. Now, instead of being 25 under, they're 15 under. Cool. They're not good. My whole thing was they're not going to lose 100, but they're not a playoff team.
In that division, they might be.
No, I think it gives a great opening for Milwaukee to go through its struggles. Brew Crew territory. Check it out. Cardinals to bounce back. The Cardinals
are
on offense alone are going to pick it up.
What about the Cubs?
Goldie hit 3 home runs yesterday.
Cubs are sneaky.
Picking each side of the ballpark too. Center, right, left. Yeah, they're okay. It's a really bad division. Both Centrals are terrible. No, Cincinnati. We've talked too much about Cincinnati lately. It's the AL and the NL Central are just so much worse than AL East, NL East, NL West, even AL West.
Okay,
AL West
I
is
can't
not
argue
great
that.
either.
What's the record of the AL Central against the rest of the baseball? Is like 380 or something.
So it's just that's a huge difference in what you're bringing to the table there. So let's get to the NL West for a moment, shall we? series of the weekend in my
Gotta
mind.
get
There,
my blood
it was
pressure to go down now.
I know. I could go 2 more hours on that. I absolutely love the beautiful disaster going on in St. Louis.
Listen, I love
but I
the
also
Cardinals.
think they're going to pick
played
it
for
up.
the Cardinals, and I had a great time in St. Louis. I thought St. Louis was an awesome organization.
I think people are shitting on them too much, though. I think they're making mistakes, but the roster from the position player side is so talented that they will be contending for a playoff spot.
I can't. I
in
picked
my
them to
mind.
win the division, so I can't.
And I
argue that.
still think that's
Yeah.
possible, like very possible, just based on position players alone. Goldie 3 homers yesterday. You know he's going to be a stud still. Bat looks great. He often in the beginning of the season, like, just gets unlucky for a month or two.
That was my problem too, Lo. I used to get unlucky for a
No,
month or two.
it'll happen.
Just a
It's
few
happened
months,
multiple
Just a
times.
couple months. I just get unlucky for a couple months.
He will smoke the ball. Cardinals fans will back me up. He'll smoke the ball. It's happened like 3 out of the last 4 years, and it's just not landing. And then he's got the
Then
same
all of
like
a sudden his luck turns
same
around.
barrel rate, and the luck does turn around. So just saying, Nolan Arenado is not going to be this bad. He did
certainly
not
hope
just suddenly fall off a cliff. I don't see it. So anyway, Padres Dodgers was fun. So Friday, the Padres won the World Series. They celebrated. They had Kershaw crying on the big board.
Which was, listen, I mean,
Here it is. Oh, I hope you're
mean,
watching
listen.
and not just listening today. Or at least you checked out this tweet that went viral
it should have.
from the Foul Territory Twitter. When,
I mean-
when they lose, it's Kershaw crying on the big board. Come on, that's freaking awesome. It's so fun for
It's
the
just
rivalry.
not professional. Because
So?
it comes, I know, but
Professional.
well, what happened the next 2 games? They lost, so then
Even better. That's cool. That's fun. The Dodgers probably went in the clubhouse afterward. Again, here, you tell me. Let's start with Lo. Okay, Lo, you guys lost to the Padres. They've got all kinds of steam. Tatis is out there shaking his ass, dancing for everybody, having a time. Also playing his ass off. He had 2 homers in the series. He was 6 for 12. I mean, he played great. You go in the clubhouse after that first loss. Aren't you saying something along the lines of, I'm sorry, did we just lose the World Series? They're celebrating like they won the World Series just now, and they're calling out our legendary pitcher. Doesn't that give you some beef for the next 2?
I mean, that motivates me a little bit, but I feel like I've never seen, as far as people putting stuff like that on the jumbotron. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't know if you guys can correct me or not, but
no, I ain't never seen that.
yeah, I've never seen anything like that before, so that's new to me. But yeah, that gives me added motivation to go out there and kick some ass the next day. So they got to figure it out. They'll get it going. They're the Dodgers. They always find a way, and they usually have really solid pitching every year. So I think they'll bounce back and continue to be in those Dodgers that we know very well.
The thing for me is the Padres finally beat the Dodgers in the playoffs last year. But then they didn't make to the World Series because the Phillies got them. But it was honestly, I was there. I called the Padres Dodgers. It was like they won the World Series when they beat them. I mean, the city, the players, everybody was going crazy. Which great, you beat the Dodgers finally. Now it's a new year. Dodgers are kind of got off to a start, right? Padres are feeling themselves a little bit. They win 1 game. It's the first game they played all year. You put Clayton Kershaw crying like the crying Jordan meme that's out there. I mean, this is Clayton Kershaw. This dude's never done anything wrong to anybody that I know of. I mean, he's just a great dude. Competes, says the right stuff, does the right stuff. But him, why not pick? I don't know. Pick someone else. Don't pick Clayton. I know he pitched that game.
Because he pitched.
But don't pick him.
Wait, let's also not bury the lead. The Dodgers are in first place in the National
Yeah.
League West.
So
They are 3 games better than San Diego. They're 21-14.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. I mean, obviously, sure, you can pick at any team, even the good ones, the powerhouse ball clubs. There's nothing wrong right now. If you closed your eyes in the offseason and you open them and you go, here we are, early May, where are my Dodgers at as a Dodger fan? You'd go, oh, great. This looks fine because we didn't do a ton in the offseason. We wanted to let the kids play, and they did.
Well,
Especially in yesterday's win.
That Outman dude's a stud.
Outman's a stud. But yesterday,
Vargas has been
you're
good.
down to your last out. Mookie, who had a tough series up until that point. He was 0 for. Hits a homer. And then your young guys, who was it, Bush and then Outman, represent for you, and you pull off a dub, and you win the series. Doesn't get much better than that. The other part, Eduardo Perez called out Fernando Tatis Jr. and said, "That's what a superstar looks like, Nando." Which, again, I love the drama on the broadcast. And I know he already came out, and I'm friends with Eddie. He's great. He already came out and said, "My bad," and he was kind of cringing when he said it. I think he was more playing to, I know this in the TV world, you play to the shot. You know how that works? You see a shot, and like whatever comes out really quickly, you'll say. So I don't think he meant it the way he did, but also at the same time, I don't think it's bad either way. I've been pushing the Tatis as the villain of the league, which I think he's embracing. So it's all good. And Tatis had a hell of a series. So as far as results, he was a superstar in that series. I think deep inside for Eddie, there is a little bit of thought of, hey, you were supposed to be this all-world everything on and off the field. And he's got all the talent, but it hasn't all been there in terms of, yeah, you had PD suspension. He wouldn't get the shoulder surgery. There's been other off-the-field shit. If you talk to the Padres, he's playing well.
I'm going to let Lorenzo go because then I'm going to.
Oh, man, it's hard to. That's a tough one right there. Oh, I mean, like you said, maybe he's embracing the villain aspect of everything. And some people need that added motivation to drive them out there, to make sure they're day in and day out focusing and locking in and, keep them going. It's tough for me to kind of speak to this. I'm definitely not a big fan of him, taking or whatever he took. But yeah, it's kind of hard to add much to this conversation because I don't really know much about it, for one. So yeah, this is a tough call for me.
Yeah, I talked to Eddie today. He called me because I reached out because I knew this was coming up on the show, and I said, "Eddie, what do you got?" And I saw his apology, and what you said is, I see it both ways. Okay, Padre fans are going to take it as a slight to Fernando, right? Everyone else is looking at it like, I don't really have that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal, right? But Padre fans are like, oh, we love our team. We love Fernando, blah, blah, blah. So when I talked to Eddie, I said, Eddie, what happened? And I do TV. You've done plenty of games. Mm-hmm. You try to follow what the director takes you to. So when you're talking, if I'm talking and saying that whatever I'm talking about, like I'm talking about foul territory, this foul territory show, and the director cuts to Lorenzo Kanes, I'm going to say, well, blah, 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 Lorenzo Kanes, and you try to incorporate him more, blah, 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 Scott Braun. So whatever you're talking about, that's because you try to make the shots make sense to what you're talking about. Eddie said if they would have showed Dave Roberts, he would have said Dave Roberts. He goes, if it would have been reversed, I would have said, Mookie Betts, that's what a superstar looks like. If Fernando Tatis would have hit the home run, they would have shown Mookie. So he said, I just got caught. And he said, as soon as I said it, I knew. He's like, oh, that didn't come out right. And I did. And again, listen, I got to take the guy at his word. He called me. And he said, I just misspoke. He's like, misspoke's not the right word. I said what I said, but it just because I was doing what you're supposed to do on TV, which is follow the shots, because they don't tell you what they're going to show. And it was just Mookie giving a high five, and then they went right to Tatis. Because like you said, he had a great series. So Eddie's thought was, man, that's what a superstar looks like. And then Nando, they show him. So he's like, that's what a superstar looks like, Nando. And it just sucks because it was a great series. The 3 great games. You got the crying Clayton Kershaw. You got the whole deal. And then this is the way it ends. Listen, I feel for Eddie. I see both sides of it. But, I mean, come on. It wasn't meant to be mean. It was meant to be just, hey, this dude's really freaking good. It's Mookie Betts. And at the biggest stage off your all-star closer hater, ba-ba, tie game, they win in extra innings, right? So, listen, Eddie, you got a pass from me, brother. You're a great dude. And listen, as I told him on the phone, that's not something he would say. But it might be something I might have said sometime. but he, I mean, listen. I mean, that's like neither here nor there.
That's what I thought of. I watched that and I go, oh, AJ might have said that just to rile up the crowd. It wasn't. See, my thing is, you have a pass for me too, Eddie, and here's why. It was no big deal.
No, just because it was on national TV.
I know, but whether you mean it or not, or you fumble words, which I do believe too happen. Also, let's keep in mind, I mean, Eddie is a master with Spanish and English. Like, I can't even master English. He's got both down, and you're playing the shots. There's a billion things going on. Take most human beings, put them in that booth to call a game, is not what you think it is.
I agree with that.
There is a lot going on.
Lorenzo, have you ever sat in a TV booth and actually listened to what happens?
I did for the first time in Kansas City this weekend. And it's tough, man. It's tougher than I thought it would be.
They're
I'm
in
just
your
sitting there.
ear going nuts.
Yes, you can hear everything in your ears. I'm like, man, I don't know how you guys do this, man. But
Yep.
yeah, it's a tough situation to be in. But like I said, they're pros now. They've been doing it for years, and it's very easy for them now. So yeah, I was definitely impressed when I was up there listening to it all.
Yeah, it's no big deal what he said though.
No.
It's not like he
I actually thought it was kind of funny.
I did too.
It's
That's
kinda
why I was
like,
like,
ah.
oh, this is great. It's good for the game. And yeah, of course, Padres fans are going to get
He
worked up.
said he's
but,
getting crushed by Padre fans.
oh, but who cares?
And he said he also is getting kind of crushed because, he's Cuban
Yeah.
and Fernando's Dominican. So then, of course, but it had nothing to do with anything. He just was making a comment.
Correct.
And because it's Dodgers Giants on ESPN, the whole deal, Sunday Night Baseball.
And what every
who cares? Like,
yeah,
dude, go
come
Eddie.
on. He has to like and not like certain players
No.
or whatever. No,
Let me tell you
he's
something.
being paid for his analysis.
Let me tell you something. As a guy that does this every Saturday, we don't hate any team. I don't hate your team. I don't hate any team. And I don't root. Listen, personally, I do root for the White Sox, okay? But when I'm doing a game, I try not to be overly positive towards the White Sox. I get bashed for being too negative for the White Sox. Or it doesn't matter. And I think it's Kevin Kugler who does all kinds of sports. On his Twitter bio, it says, I hate every team. Just know when I call a game, I hate both teams.
Yeah.
Because that's the perfect description. I'm there to call the game and honestly put the most positive spin on it for both sides because I might do one. I did the Orioles and Braves. That might be the only Orioles game I do all year. I only want to see the good out of the Orioles. Might be the only Braves game I do all year. Guess what? I'm going to tell you all the good stuff. There's negative stuff. We'll talk about it, but I want to focus on the good stuff of your team because that's what I want to talk. I don't want to talk about the negative crap. Let's talk about the good stuff and how good your team. Dude, the Orioles and the Braves played a 3-game series. It was awesome. All 3 games are unbelievable. Let's talk about the good stuff. Like, I don't hate your team. As announcers, we don't hate your team.
There's almost nothing I could give less of a shit about than the actual final result of the game.
Yes.
When I'm calling the game.
I just want to be quick.
And you just want to quit.
I want to be
Definitely
over.
like
I want it
Yes.
clean. I just
You want a
it's
good
much
game.
more fun to have a good pace and a good
Yes.
action calling game experience versus a slog fest. I don't want to call the Pirates Blue Jays from the weekend or something when I'm just going to pick on them right now. I think it was like 7-0 in one of the games in like the 3rd inning. And you're like, okay, here we go. That's where the pitch clock helps a lot. But point being, this is a neutral experience. But that's why I think it's fun. Like I got that every time, instant feedback on YouTube for the past 3-4 years because there's a chat going on like this with thousands of comments. Every time I would make a call, because I'm also trying to incorporate those questions into the broadcast. Every time I make a call, this guy hates the Mariners. This guy hates the Guardians. Oh, you're such a homer for whatever. I'm calling a national game. I'm going to get excited for both sides.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. And I also would always say, you can toggle to listen to your radio feed. We had that option. So that's all good. It's fun. Absolute good, clean fun in Sunday Night Baseball and a great rivalry between those teams. But let's not forget the Dodgers are in first place right now. So, by the way, I forgot to mention a few things. Number one, guest list today, JJ Cooper from Baseball America. We got a lot of prospect talk to get into. I want to ask about Matt Mervis. I want to ask about Jackson Churio, top prospect. And also a quick shout out before we bring in our star guest, Andrés Giménez from the Guardians. Currently on Chartable, the number 2 baseball podcast is?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. It's right here.
Wait. Oh, Foul Territory.
Foul Territory. Let's
Awesome.
go, baby. Let's go. So we appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Yes. And
Watching,
also, thanks to
listening.
all of our guests, including
Thank you
Andrés
to our
Giménez.
guests for being a part of this. So just wanted to say a thank you right now because we haven't been around for a long time. So it's
Gosh,
been
it feels
a
like we've been around forever.
great rise. No, it hasn't. Those other shows were around have been around
I'm
for like
just kidding.
years.
True.
And we're 2 months into this thing. So people are there, they're supportive, and we also like to answer anything you throw at us. And there are no questions we won't touch. So let's get into it right now with our first guest. Andrés Giménez from the Cleveland Guardians joins us after actually a big weekend for Cleveland. Andrés, how are you today? And how big was this weekend for Cleveland? You open up the series with a loss, and then you take the next two from the division rival, the Twins, who look very good this year.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, it was really important to bounce back, especially against the Twins. We're gonna be in the fight for the division, and it was really important. The pitching stuff was great this weekend, and hopefully they're gonna keep it in the same way.
Andres, do you hate the Twins? Like, is there a bitter rivalry? And you can say whatever you want now, and I'll say this. You are signed with Cleveland basically for life. And just like Vladdy Jr. said with the Blue Jays, I don't like the Yankees. I'd never sign with them. Like, do you genuinely dislike your rivals, and you look at them and you're like, I want to beat you down and sweep you in this series?
Not really. I don't hate them. I feel like the same way the whole season, especially, us being really competitive. But I don't hate any team. I just try to be there, try to be consistent and, competitive at the same time. And I think the team feel the same way. So I don't think we hate any team.
That's a lie. It's okay. It's okay. I used to hate teams. I used to hate LoCain when I played against him. It's okay. Here we are, but it's all right. I mean, listen, I came up as a Twin. I hated the White Sox. And guess where I ended up playing along? It's the White Sox. You just never know.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, you hate who you play against.
We never know. But the Twins got me a lot hit by pitches last year.
Oh, see there now.
Yeah, but I don't hate him.
Did you go to the same barber as Scott? Because your hair, your pelo, is very
It's nice.
like Scott's.
Looks good.
I don't know if you guys go to the same barber.
I don't think we go to the same barber.
Okay, because Scott's jealous. Anyone that has higher hair than him, Scott cannot handle the fact that
I'm right here next to him. I speak for myself. I'm not jealous at all. But I do love Andres, and I do love that hair.
I know, exactly. What was
we
the
need
outlook?
something fresh for this week.
Okay.
Yes.
I like it. Always fresh cuts. You guys have a barber in Cleveland?
Yeah, we have a great barber here. So he speaks Spanish and English, so that's very easy for me.
Okay.
Bilingual barber is a must, by the way.
It's every team has that now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually, Yeah, but see, like for me to go get my hair cut, I would have to wait because he would come in and all the Latino guys would go in first because they always had like their appointment, and I'd be like, well, I kind of need a haircut.
You would just walk in?
Yeah, but I always had to wait like 10 people.
Well, you have to make an appointment.
Yeah.
I know.
Do you make an appointment, Andres, when you want to get
Yeah, for
a
sure.
cut?
This guy is busy. So he sent the list and the days that he's going to be here, so you have to select your time. So he's really busy, especially from both sides. Visiting team and home team, they always go there. So he's busy.
And imagine if you walked in and Pierzynski's sitting in the chair and, like, let's say you scheduled a 1:20 p.m. and all of a sudden AJ's sitting in the seat. Wouldn't you be pissed?
No, not really.
Yeah, but then you have to wait. You're too nice. I'd be like,
nice.
hey.
Andres, be like, AJ, I had a 1:20. Get out. I got to go do warm-ups after this.
No, I think Gio, that's the name of the barber. He does a really good job with the time. So the latest that he can be is just 5 or 10 minutes, and then he got you really quick.
It's not like my hair was like very complicated.
No, I understand.
Yeah, 5 or 10 minutes. Like LoCain's hair, he's like
Quick buzz,
Andres, I do have a serious question though about the Guardians in your start. The offense has kind of been, pitching's been good like we expect. What do you guys? Is it warmer weather? You think that'll turn this offense around? Because you guys hit last year. Is it the warmer weather you're waiting for, or what's the feeling in that clubhouse?
Obviously, the weather has been a point. We've been playing with some weird weather, but that's no excuse. We've been having good at bees. We've been trying to put the ball on play, but last weekend was great. As a team, we put the ball in play and we hit with a runner scoring position. I think that's the only thing that we've been missing on the last month. But looking forward and see what happens. Hopefully the things turn around.
Yeah, so I got a quick question for you. So, I dislike, as AJ would say, hate. I try not to use that word, but hey, I disliked the Tigers when I was coming up. They had Verlander and Price and Scherzer, all those guys, Doug Fister. That was definitely a tough rotation to face. In your division, do you feel like there's um, a rotation that you least like, or do you feel like you swing it pretty well against all those guys or every other team in the division?
That I dislike or they got me
Yes.
out.
Is there a tough rotation out there for you in your
Oh yeah,
division?
top rotation for sure. The Twins. This division is really competitive. Too many good arms in here, a lot of below. But I think the Twins has a great rotation. Sonny Gray is throwing really good. Pablo Lopez, is really good. Ryan is doing great. So I think the Twins they have a really good rotation, and the bullpen is nasty too. They have the closer, they have Lopez, and they had a good lefty there.
Wow.
The Twins, huh? You guys beat Sonny Gray. You guys beat their best.
Yeah, we got lucky, I guess.
You got lucky.
No.
No. You guys beat them.
No, you're too
You guys,
nice, Andres.
you guys are
So
the only
he's
team that
good.
has
He's
hit him.
good.
You
He's
guys are the only
pitching
team
really
that's hit
well.
him. Yeah, he is. You guys are the only team
Yeah.
that have hit him all year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, AJ. You know how that goes.
Or both. You need both. You guys are not lucky, okay? Because lucky would be like anyone can step up and get a knockoff Sonny, and 99.999% of the world can't touch any of his stuff. So there's not luck to it there. Andres, since last time we spoke, you signed the contract extension, and it was like days after that. Have you been able to do any kind of celebration or a dinner or anything nice since then, or you have zero time? You got a day off or two since?
Yeah. Once we get from the road trip, Oakland and Seattle, my whole family come here to Cleveland, and we did like a family dinner. So that's special moments, and we celebrate together as a family.
Did someone do a toast? Did you do it? Did someone else do it? And what did you say?
No, especially the first one who saw was my mom. Really proud or everything was happening. And yeah, it was basically my mom who started everything, and then it was me and my wife and the whole family say something, and at the end, start to eat and just enjoy and a little party there.
Where did you go?
Oh no, we basically we did it at home.
What?
But it was
Did you
mostly-
cook? Wait, who cooked?
No. It was special because it was my mom and my wife who made the food. But it's a special food, so that made it a little more special.
I was gonna say you got enough money now. You can hire somebody to cook for you. You can go to.
No, they take care of that.
Was there
Yeah,
tears? Was there tears? I mean, obviously everybody was happy.
Obviously,
Like tears of
obviously
joy.
happy. Yeah, tears of joy. That's the word. Yeah, obviously my mom started talking, and she started to cry, and from there everyone was crying.
Is your mom kind of your whole life? Obviously, our mothers are special to everyone in their own ways. My mom was there for me all the time. Your mom was there for you. What has your mom meant to your career? Since Mother's Day don't forget, Mother's Day is Sunday.
Yeah, it means a lot, man. She's right now here in Cleveland, supporting us, helping us with the baby, and we're helping at home. It means a lot, man. It means everything. All the effort that she put, on my life as a kid, and all the efforts that, she made for, have a good education. All the sacrifice that we did. We didn't grow up with much, but, with a lot of education and, all that kind of stuff just helped me, and I appreciate it.
Andres. Oh, go ahead, Lo.
Oh yeah, one quick question: is there anybody you kind of looked up to, role model your game after, or
When I
anybody
was
you
a kid,
kind of took as a role model or looked up to?
oh yeah, basically I have a older cousin, and that was basically the example that I had clear at home, because it was just me, my mom, and my cousin, and as a life was him and my grandma, who's really really tough on everything. And from there, start, and playing baseball, I think Omar Vizquel was one of the guys that I look at, and all the big names in Venezuela. And now I have the opportunity to play with them in the WBC and made it a little more special.
Hey, hold on. Omar Vizquel, I got to play with Omar Vizquel. It's going to sound really odd. He had some of the greatest clothes of all time.
He's a good dresser.
Good as relative
Well,
speaking.
style is opinion.
Exactly. So but he had like, he had some interesting things. And he also owns a kangaroo at his house, which is pretty awesome.
No way.
Yes. So have you met Omar Vizquel, Andres?
Yeah, I did it on the WBC for first time. We were talking on the social media, and I was like, maybe I have the opportunity to meet him, and it was on the WBC that I met him. And there is a video. I have a video when I saw him. It was like, oh man, this is Omar Vizquel. I was really surprised about it.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Andres, I've been excited to ask you about this. What did you think of Wander Franco with a little fancy flip on a routine ground ball, making the traditional, I don't want to say boring, but routine play a bit more exciting, and suddenly everyone was talking about it the next day. When you saw it, do you think, as a fan of the game, it's cool? Would you ever try it yourself? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been doing it, but I do it in practice. But it was fun to watch, man. I like it. He was having fun on the field. He made the out, and he make it fun. I mean, I think he was great doing it. It was fun to watch. I watched it, and I was like, oh man.
Wait, hold on. Would you do it in a game? Would you do
If
it
I
in a
do
game?
it, I don't know. In the game, it's different. Maybe something happened. I didn't. The play that I made in the All-Star game, I just do it in the practice, and it happens in the All-Star game, But yeah, if I have the opportunity and the confidence is at the highest level, I maybe do it. Why not?
Okay. Now, if you drop it and the guy's safe, Tito says what, or Sandy, or who says what to you when you get in there? Who's the first
I think
coach on the
everyone.
Guardians that grabs you and says, "Don't ever do that again"?
Oh, for sure, the infield coach, Mike Sarp, is gonna tell. Yeah, he's gonna tell
I
me
forgot about
something
Sarby.
for sure. Yeah, he's gonna tell me something for sure. But I have a little advantage, I think, because if I miss it, I'm second base, so I'm closer.
Right, you'll do it when you got time, right? You're
Yeah,
gonna weigh out
exactly.
the clock. That even if there's a little fumble, you can still recover and make the
Yeah,
play.
but I don't know. It makes fun to watch. Defense fun to watch. Sometimes we just catch the ball and throw out the guy. But yeah, it was fun. I like it.
See, I like that.
Nobody
liked
said
the
they didn't
answer.
like it.
What about you
I
guys?
like the.
You guys like it or
Oh.
no?
Yeah, see, we got other players on this, and we haven't had LoCain since that happened. So, Lo, for example, when you saw it, did you like it?
That was tough for me. I'm not gonna lie.
That
That was tough for me to watch.
I said I liked it because he wasn't on my team, and I don't have to
Yeah.
answer. I don't have to
There you
answer
go.
that if he drops it.
or it
you go
wasn't
grab
you
it.
running.
It was me running. He could have dropped it 3 times. That's okay. I'm the guy, by the way, Andre. When I was running, I was the guy you could go like this and drop it and then drop it again, and you still have plenty of time for second base. So I was the guy you would do it on.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that was awesome. Yeah, it was tough for me to watch. I'm not gonna lie. It was tough for me to watch. The game's changing though. I'm out of the game. Everybody's having fun on the field. So hey, he's out there having a blast. But yeah, I couldn't see my kids doing that. So we'll leave it at that.
I love it. Do you have any other fancy moves, Andres, that you've worked on or that you do work on in practice that you feel like, even if it's not in a game, because we don't want to freak these guys out, maybe it's in the next All-Star game, right, where you got something fancy prepared for us? I love it. As long as you can pull it off, I love it.
Yeah, I maybe have something more, but I'm gonna keep it for surprise for you guys.
Okay.
And maybe see it first, and then I explain to you guys. But the play that I made in the All-Star game, I do it almost the last ground ball that I took on the practice. but I never did it in the game. It just was in the All-Star game that it just happened. But if I have the chance to make another one, I'm gonna keep you guys on the waiting.
Yes.
I'm not gonna tell you exactly what I'm doing.
Why in the All-Star
But I
game
maybe
did you
have
decide to
something.
do it? Why?
Huh?
What made you say in the All-Star game, I'm going to try this?
Because it was fun. I was having fun in there, and just a special moment. Like anything counts there. Just having fun, and it works. But if it wouldn't work, there's no chance that I try another time.
Yeah, well, behind the back's pretty good.
Behind the back.
For people that don't
sick.
know, he
That's
turned
exactly
a
the
double play
conversation.
behind the back.
Yes.
Hit Tim Anderson perfectly in stride. And Tim Anderson almost messed it up because he made a bad throw to first. Thank God Vlad caught it, right?
I think he didn't expect that.
Oh, okay. You got to warn your
For
shortstop.
sure, yeah.
Did
Huh?
Tim say something to you afterward? Was he like, "Oh, damn, I was not expecting that"?
Yeah, for sure. I think he didn't expect that throw.
Do you tell
But-
Rosario? Do you tell Rosario now, hey, dude, I could flow it between my legs. I could go over my shoulder. I could go behind my
Yeah,
back.
just be ready. Just be ready. Maybe they will get to you quickly.
Do you guys work on that? Because in BP, obviously, or I don't know if you guys do the
Yeah.
ground balls before batting practice or during. Do you guys
No,
work
not
on
really.
that?
Not really, because as a second base, so I'm in the left side of the diamond or right side. So here we basically start, two from the left side and two from the right side. So we don't have the opportunity to throw double plays together. So at the same time that he's throwing to first, I'm throwing to second. And when I'm throwing to first, he's throwing to second. So
Got it. Because I remember watching when this is a long time back when the Guardians were the Indians. They had a guy named Roberto Alomar that played second base for him,
yeah,
and he used to practice all that stuff. We'd go out and watch him
he's a
and
legend.
Vizquel. It was him and Vizquel, and
Yeah.
they'd be out there doing all kinds of crazy tricks with flips and
put
I'm like,
in a show in there.
oh, it was unbelievable. It was worth. It was like, guys
Yeah.
go out and watch home runs. It was worth going out watching Robbie and Omar turn double plays during batting.
Yeah,
practice.
that's what I hear. That
Hey,
they wear a show on the practice.
Andres, we have a question from Jackson. He said, "How do you hit lefties so well?"
I don't know.
It's not luck.
I feel like just let the ball travel the most that I can. But I like face the lefties. I don't know, for some reason, because there is so many things that I can do. I can put the ball both ways. The defense playing different when I'm facing a lefty. So it's more like a challenge for me facing lefties.
Do you get asked by young kids, whether you see them in the stands or anywhere else or back in the home country, about their kind of tips on how they can make it or anything that really stuck out to you? And do you have a textbook answer or a quote that you like to use?
No, I always try to keep in mind the same advice that some guys gave me when I was a young kid. Just work hard, try to be patient, and have trust in what you're doing, your abilities, and trust in God. So that was basically the advice that I can give to a kid who wanna make it. Especially back home in Venezuela, everything gets a little difficult, but they have to put the work in.
And you got to tell whoever's honking at you to leave you alone because you're on
Dude, they have
foul
the same
territory.
horn they've had in Cleveland for like 25 years. It's the same golf cart, the same horn.
It's just one cart.
Well, more than one, but they got that stupid horn.
Yeah, I think they are the same one because they little old.
See, they're the same damn
They're
cart.
old. Yeah. They need to soup it up a little bit. Hey,
Yeah.
Andres, it was great talking to you. Great catching up. We always appreciate the time and enjoy this. Good luck the next few weeks, and we'll chat again then.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Andres.
Andres.
Good
See you
stuff,
guys.
man.
All right.
Appreciate you.
No
Andres
problem.
Giménez from the Cleveland Guardians joining us. Good times. See, I like that. The Wander Franco play was something that got him excited.
But first of all, nobody.
I'm not calling you
Yeah,
out.
you kind of were. They're taking the whacker
I'm
back.
not calling you. I'm saying these guys are watching everything, right? They are fans of the game, and they are seeing what their peers are doing. And it's easier than ever to do that because you don't have to just rely on like one channel or something. Everyone's on their phones watching this and watching social accounts. So as soon as Wander makes that play, these guys get to the clubhouse after the game and they unwind by like scrolling through on their phone. And he sees Wander and he's like, hell yeah, I did some fancy shit at the All-Star game. He brought it up. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't do it on my team.
Or LoCain's team.
Or yeah, thank you, Lorenzo.
Yeah, not on my team either. No, thank you.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have said something. Would you have said something like if you were playing with Wander Franco?
I would hope that the manager or whoever the infield guy is would say something first, so I wouldn't be put in that situation. But like you said, as a player, if I do that and he's safe, man, I couldn't live that down right there. That would be a tough situation to be in.
Well,
yes, don't even. Yes, I would have.
You would have said something.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even have to get to the. We might not even have made it out of the inning if it wasn't the third out. I might have been out there and got some little rosin, talked to the mound, and been like, "Hey, we don't do that."
Okay, let's quick role play. So you say and I go, what? That was awesome.
Yeah, I say, don't ever do it. But major league line, nice catch. Don't ever do it again.
If I ever fuck that up,
my bad.
I will take you.
You're gonna go my bad
on a $20,000 dinner.
Okay.
Okay. You good now?
Well,
I'm gonna do it once every blue moon, maybe 3 times the whole year. I'm gonna do something fancy because shit gets monotonous. We're the best team in baseball right now. I'm signed for a lot of money, so they're not touching me. They're not demoting me. They're not stupid enough to demote me from my position. Who would do that with a big money player?
Cardinals.
I know. So
good point.
Enjoy the ride and the show. What if I said that back?
Okay, well, just drop it next time so I get that $20,000 dinner. And then don't ever do it again.
Exactly.
Then don't ever do it again the next time.
So on that topic, the Rays and the Yankees met up this past weekend.
This is a good series too.
This was a great series. And Friday, the Randy Land promotion was on, and it is glorious. And if he homers, it's free beer for the Randy Land section.
He did.
And he homered.
He almost did it in the Rays, the actual Rays tank out there. By the way, I love those uniforms.
The Devil Rays ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah.
But wait, then he gets hit by a pitch. Wait, then he gets hit by a pitch again. Are the Yankees bothered by the fact that Randy Arozarena is having fun and he has a pose after he touches third base on his way home from a homer trot? And by the way, I don't think, unless I've missed it, the Yankees still don't have any kind of fun celebration on their homers, do they?
They have
few teams.
Phil Nevin or they hand Giancarlo.
No,
Stanton
I know that. I'm
football
saying
on
that everyone's got their dugout skit.
Oh.
Do the Yanks have it yet? Trevino told us last time they were going to have something.
I didn't see anything.
I haven't noticed anything unless I'm missing it.
I don't know. Let's find out.
So anyway, the Rays end up taking the series. Rays win on Friday. Yankees win 3-2 on Saturday. By the way, Harrison Bader looks really good for them at the plate. He had the 2-run single. That was the difference. Also homered on Sunday. But the Yankees blew a 6-run lead on Sunday. And the series goes to the Rays. And the Yankees continue to tumble a little bit. You know, for all the talk about the Cardinals, are the Yankees not just as far back in the division? The Yankees, no, they're further back, actually. I remember. I checked this morning. They're 10 games back. We are absolutely destroying the Cardinals. The Yankees are 10 games back of the Rays, and they just lost a series to them. So, first off, on the ejections, we have something on that, so let's run it. I don't think we have sound on it, but we're showing it. So, we can keep it running so that the crowd can see it. We're talking about it. The Yanks were chirping back at the Rays dugout. Randy heads to first.
He wanted to throw
in
his
the
bat.
fifth.
He wanted to fire
And he
his
held
bat.
back. The Yanks just look like they're trying to pick a fight. And for me, what did the Rays do wrong?
They hit a home run.
Oh, I'm sorry that the Rays have pop and they have an absolute blast. And then Kevin Cash gets booted. This was after the second
This
hit
is
by
the
pitch.
second time.
And Kevin Cash comes to talk it out, and the Rays get a warning, and then Cash gets booted from the game.
I give Cash a lot of credit right here because he's much more calm than most guys would have been.
I would have been freaking out. They're
Lance
targeting my
Barksdale.
dude. Okay. as we're watching this little, I would say calm discussion between Cash and Ump, LoCain, was this intentional?
Oh, very much.
Yes.
Very much. I think it was intentional. The Rays are having fun. They're having a blast out there, and they're playing some great baseball. They're whooping up on everybody, and the Yankees are going the other way. So to me, that looks like they're trying to just start a fight, pick a fight, and hey, just take the ass whooping like a man and move on. That's where I'm at with it.
Why do you throw? The dude hit a home run. Go, if you're the pitcher, go hit yourself with the ball. You're the one that gave up the home run.
Exactly.
In today's game, you can bat flip and do all kinds of people. It takes Fernando Tatis. He does so many things around the bases. Sometimes he forgets. Like at each base, he's got like a dance step.
Acuna
does it.
Yeah.
and
They're all
Randy.
doing it.
Yeah, well, sorry, they hit homers and they have fun. Sorry,
Fine.
no fun police.
Yeah.
That to me, that is so tired that you're hitting a dude because of that. Still, are you not watching baseball right now?
People want the sellies.
That's what I'm saying. So why are the Yankees being the no fun police in this case?
I don't know. Ask LoCain. Salvador Perez was the no fun police to Tim Anderson one time. Let's find out. Who put you in charge of the no fun league?
Hey, I don't think I was there then. I don't think.
Okay.
Well,
Were you already with the Brew
Brew
Crew?
Samardzija, after I think Moose took him oppo at the K, and then I'm hitting after Moose, and I get squared up in the back. Kind of just gave him a look. He's a big boy. Don't get me wrong, he's a big boy. But Samardzija squared me up in the back. So I've definitely been hit on purpose a few times. So I understand what the Rays are going through. I've been there. But for me, it's you give up a home run, just take it. Hey, you give up a home run, go strike the next guy out. That's how I would approach the situation. You don't like it, get me out.
We've been
That's
talking
what I'm
about
all
this
about.
for years.
I thought we passed this.
It's still.
I thought
a
we'd gone
thing.
past this though.
And then the Yankees were all fired up, like when they, what was it, the Bader
Home run. Yeah. Bader had a good
and
series,
they're like,
by the way.
let's go,
Yeah, he
like,
did.
like these guys, let's fuck them up, whatever. I'm like, do you need that motivation? I just
just-
thought it was so soft on the Yanks side. They're like, they're coming after. No, you hit a guy twice. Sorry that they're having a good time and they're in first
This
place.
is bad on the umpires too, though. I don't like bagging on umpires, but
Yes, you do.
no, not really. I like
Sometimes.
umpires. I like umpires. But why do they give a warning? Like they knew damn well. Lance Barksdale was the umpire that Kevin Cash got kicked out by. He's been in this game for like 30 years at the big league level. And telling me he didn't know that the second time he got hit wasn't on purpose? I mean, the first time, okay, maybe he got away, but the second time, and he got it. I'm talking, the second one was like right here. So that was one of those, okay, I'm hitting this dude no matter what pitches.
Yeah.
So he telling me the umpires didn't know. What do they do? It's a cop-out. It's like, oh, warning, don't do it anymore, guys. I'm going to take your ball away and go home. Like, no. Like, they knew Abreu did that on purpose. He should have been gone.
Kick them out.
Right away. Phew, gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then it stops it. But instead, warnings. Then Kevin Cash, it's kind of like the Rocco Baldelli Herman thing with the Yankees, with the rosin thing, right? We've had 2 incidents out of the Yankees. Both times the wrong managers got kicked out of the game. Or the wrong player, whatever you want to call it.
No, you're right. I mean, if they would have kicked him out right away after that second hit by a pitch, I don't think anyone would have
Boone
said.
would have come out and argued because
And
got away.
he probably would have gotten
He would have given the standard.
kicked.
He wasn't throwing at him. It slipped. He didn't have rosin. I mean,
But the non-biased world would have said, yep, that was deserved.
Yeah.
He should be ejected from the game. They've now targeted him twice. Did the Rays hit the Yanks in that game?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Oh,
either.
there was one, I think.
Did they have a hit
but
by
it was
a
a
pitch?
breaking ball.
Okay, that doesn't count. Did
Yeah.
any other heaters
I don't think so.
hit the other side? Okay, you're out.
You know what was funny? Okay, so one time we had warnings and we couldn't throw at a guy. So I forget who the pitcher was. He goes, I'm going to hit him with a breaking ball. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, they'll never kick me out. And it was smart. Hit the guy, breaking ball. It's
No
a breaking
way.
ball. I wasn't trying to hit him.
See, that's
That's
good for all the times we go, he wasn't trying to hit him. He threw a
Forget who the
curve at
pitcher
him.
was. They're like, I'm hitting him with a breaking ball.
And didn't get kicked out.
Didn't get kicked out.
That's good shit.
Uh,
That's next level.
But the bigger story to me is on Sunday. So the Rays won game 1. They get that game. They lost game 2. Game 3, they're down 6-0 to Garrett Cole. They win the game. They come back, scored 6 on him in 1 inning. And Aaron Boone took some heat. I don't know if you saw the interviews after the game, but the Yankee fans were fired up at Boone because he's like, well, I don't know. I should have maybe gotten him, but I didn't. Gave kind of the standard answer. But I'm like, dude, that's your guy. Like, Garrett Cole's been pitcher of the month not expecting Christian Bethancourt to hit a 3-run homer and give up 6 in 1 inning.
That's why I wish managers sometimes would just bite right back and be like, no, sorry. Have you watched Cole pitch? And also, you were all over me for pulling Herman. I know, different scenario, and you didn't like that he gave up some runs, but get off me. I'll go Cole all day.
Yeah, he's your guy.
Yeah. Well, like he was pulled in the playoffs, some people were wondering, remember?
Yeah. Can't have it both ways.
No.
And Bader,
I agree.
Bader, listen, Harrison Bader, he had a series. He had
He looked great.
He had homers, big hits, RBIs. I mean, he was the best player on the Yankees.
Mm-hmm. No, they needed him back. And Judge is supposed to be back on Tuesday. We'll see, hopefully, for Yanks fans' purposes, because you're down 10 games to the Rays. It was a tough series for them. Let's bring in our next guest from Baseball America. JJ Cooper is back on Foul Territory. JJ, good to see you. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. Fired up. You know, let me get your
Hey,
quick take here.
You know, if we get to see playoff Randy during the regular season, is that ever a bad thing? I mean, it makes the game more enjoyable when Randy Arozarena is fired up and doing Randy Arozarena things.
I think the Rays probably sat him down and said, do all of that from the WBC all year long, and you will feel better and more motivated because he's in character. That's what he likes to do. So it makes the games feel bigger when he's doing that, and that's why he plays well. So I'm all about it. Before we dive
another Cardinals guy. You talked about Sean Murphy. He was a Cardinal. Sandy Alcantara, Cardinal, traded him away. Maybe that's why they were a little skeptical to – sorry, JJ. Skeptical to make another move for Sean Murphy because they traded a Arozarena, right? They traded Sandy Alcantara. They turned out to be pretty good. There's a list of guys.
Zach
Gallen's another one.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that
Zach Gallen and Alcantara, if I remember right, were in the same trade.
Yes.
For Marcell Ozuna.
That's a hell of a haul. I know Gallen ended up moving across to Arizona for Chisholm, but holy shit, Alcantara and Gallen, you got 2 1s in that trade. So
how good would they look in the Cardinals rotation?
Oh my gosh, they need an Alcantara and a Gallen, both actually. So before we dive into all of that, I just wanted to get your take on what you've seen from St. Louis as an organization and your reaction to that news about Wilson Contreras. Is there the next great catcher coming up for the Cardinals that's going to steal the show for the next 5 years and let Wilson just hang out as a DH?
Well, probably not. And so let me ask with this, and AJ probably has better understanding than any of us, but couldn't have done the same thing by simply saying that we're bringing up Barrera so that on the days Contreras DHs, we still will have a backup catcher, and scale it back where all of a sudden, without making any kind of announcement, you could say, okay, Kinsler's ends up catching 3, 4, 5 days a week. Contreras catches 1 or 2, and it wouldn't become the kind of the story of the week in St. Louis, and you kind of do the same thing, because now it does look pretty bleak when you're saying a month in that your catcher of the next 5 years isn't going to be your catcher anymore. It's kind of hard to see how that plays out now.
JJ, you missed earlier. We went off on this for like 20 minutes. And my whole thing was
40.
exactly what you – 40, sorry. We could have gone for 2 hours. But it's exactly what you just said. I said they could have said – all they had to say was he's got a sore hamstring. He's not going to catch for 2 or 3 or 4 days. Whatever it is, call up Barrera, have Kinsler catch, fine. But then walk him through what he needs to do instead of making this a public thing where they say, you're not catching anymore because this. Say, hey, this is what we need you to do more of. Boom, boom. And then slowly working back and just say, oh, he's got a sore hip or he's got a sore hamstring or whatever. Trust me, they can make stuff up, as you know. So there's a less public way they could have done this. Instead, it seems like everything right now at the Cardinals is out in the open and just not the Cardinal way, as they call it.
The other thing I would just say with all this, though, is it does show again how valuable a great catcher is. Because it's not just Yadi Molina and the Cardinals. I mean, look at the Giants, basically, since the moment that Buster Posey retired. It's when you have that kind of Hall of Fame caliber catcher behind the plate, you're going to notice it. It's really hard to figure out a way to not notice it when that guy retires or that guy leaves in trade free agency or whatever it is. You just seem to see it. Varitek with the Red Sox, they had some trouble. Like you see it time and time again. That's such a valuable position and so hard to replace.
Przinsky with the White Sox? I mean, wait, what?
Exactly. Exactly.
Of course. So let's get to your list because there's a fresh list out there right now. The new top 100 prospects update today at baseballamerica.com still has a number one of
Jackson Churia, Brewers outfielder, Brewers center fielder, who isn't having a great start to the season. He's been okay. But the thing that's tough about this is he's in the Southern League, which you might go, well, why does the Southern League matter? But that's the one league in the minors where Major League Baseball is experimenting with a sticky baseball, a pre-tax sticky baseball that's, well, I don't think it's ever going to go to the majors the way it's working, but basically has turned almost every pitcher in that league into, imagine like if you had spider tack and, plus, like guys are now like everyone's fastball's better. Everyone's fastball's moving at I've slathered my hands and stick them kind of rate. And so Churia's been okay, but he is striking out a lot. But everyone in that league striking out a lot because they're facing a different baseball.
When is Churio coming up? I don't care that he's not playing that well because he'll come up to the bigs, and at least for the most part, most guys aren't using heavy spider tack or the baseball that they botched down there for now.
I do think it's possible by the end of the year. We do have to remember he is a teenager still. And so while it happens, like if he got up at the end of the year, that would be kind of an Andrew Jones speed, which I have to kind of go back Juan Soto speed. Like there aren't many guys who, even we talk about Zach Neto was a college guy. Like getting up to the majors in any way before you turn 20 is a pretty significant step. And I think that's possible with Churio, but I think he's going to have a while in AA, and I do think there probably will be a AAA step in between before he goes to the majors.
And we saw a big bump into the top 10 for Jackson Holliday. I mean, no surprise there, of course. You want to make sure it is what it is in the minor leagues, but this is the number one overall pick from last year. So it's not like you guys sat down and said, oh, Jackson Holliday is not going to crack the top 10. You knew this was coming at some point, right?
We thought so, but at the same time, I mean, one thing to watch is if you look at the top high school bats from last year's draft class, Drew Jones was the next guy. Well, he's struggling. Elijah Green is struggling. There is a reminder that jump from high school to pro ball is a tough one. Well, if your name's not Jackson Holliday. In Jackson Holliday's case, they sent him to low A, and less than a month of time in low A, they looked at him and said, what is he doing here? He's too good for this league, and bumped him up to high A. It's an accomplishment. I don't care where you were, number 1, number 5, number 10, 20th pick in the draft. A high school guy gets to high A in his first full year. That's a good year. A high school guy who gets to AA in his first year is pretty remarkable. And right now, the way Jackson Holliday's hitting in high A South Atlantic League, it seems like it would be kind of crazy to think he doesn't get to AA at some point this year, which, by the way, I mean, just adding more to the riches, the Orioles are already looking like that last year was not a fluke, but they're doing that. Gunnar Henderson hasn't hit so far. I still think he will, but they have pretty insane depth as far as infield depth. They have a logical guy who could step in. If they had an injury at any spot in the infield that you could say, okay, Connor Norby at second base. Okay, Jory Ortiz could be their shortstop. Okay, Jordan Westberg at third base. At first base, I think they probably say maybe Santander moves there and they can bring up Colton Cowser. That AAA Norfolk team is really stacked. The Orioles, at least when it comes to bats, have a ton of guys right there. Heston Kierstead also moved back into our top 100. He's another guy. He's in AA. This is an Orioles team that looks good now, but it should get just better and better over the next couple of years.
The Brewers have the number one prospect, as we mentioned. What team do the Brewers have the best farm system? What team has the best farm system? I guess the Orioles, maybe.
I would say the Orioles
would you say
right now.
They have the best farm system.
They rank them.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, we say.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
we
get
say.
into there was a paywall, so I apologize.
Yes, there is a paywall, but yeah, we are the.
He was supposed to give me a
login.
login last time. He hasn't done it yet.
No, we got it.
But yeah, no, the Orioles are preseason, and I don't think that's changed, especially with what Jackson Holliday's done. The thing to watch for now, we're not saying this is going to happen, but it could. So our number one prospect coming into the year was Gunnar Henderson of the Orioles. Our number one prospect last year was Adley Rutschman of the Orioles. it could be Jackson Holiday, Churio versus Holiday. I mean, fun battle this year. But if it's number one Jackson Holiday coming into next year, that's unprecedented. Like, you do not see a team pump out three. Now, picking at the top of the draft sure helps in the case of Adley and Holiday, but you don't see a team pumping out three straight number one prospects. It's not. We've been doing top 100 since 1990. It's never happened.
Oh, we had Bryce and Strasburg.
Yeah, but again, that's two.
That's two.
You know,
Yeah.
now there was not a number three. The next best one would have been Rendon at that era, but he was never number one.
I kind of hate it just because the Orioles sucked for so long. So you're still saying, hey, if you suck for a long time and you uber tank, look at what you can get. Just give your fans misery for 6 years. I mean, that was the other thing, is they didn't do anything this offseason. Like, imagine if they did something, how good they could look, especially on the pitching side.
That's where I would say the key test now for the Orioles is what happens in June and July, right? They should be. They need to be. They have to be a team that goes out there and fixes problems. They have plenty of trade ammunition. They have surpluses at positions where you're like, okay, they have more middle infielders than they're going to be able to play. So if there's a starting pitcher, if there's another relief, their pen's not deep, but it has really good guys in Bautista. Obviously, Yainer Cano's been great so far this year, but they can bulk up the bullpen. If there's a position that they have an injury that they need some help, as far as a veteran bat or something like that, DH hasn't been great for them so far. They should go out there and get some help because they're spending nothing on this team right now. They have the trade ammunition to do so. And it's time. It's time for them. This is a team that clearly, if you watch what they did, that Braves series was a fun series between two teams that both look like they should be around in October. But Baltimore needs to do, obviously, if you're a Braves fan, you have no concern that Alex Anthopoulos is going to, whether he's going to make the moves to help the team be better in the second half of the year. They do it every year. Now it's time for Baltimore to start doing that as well.
Nice. Well, quick question. AJ, I don't know if you were ever in any of those prospect books or
No,
not.
nope.
I don't think I was.
JJ hated me.
He said they
No.
hated me. So, quick question from me is, are there any like diamonds in the rough that we haven't heard about that could possibly make a big jump and get to the big leagues that we'll see later in the future?
So, okay, if we're looking at later this year, I mean, the thing that's been notable already is, like, I would have said Mason Miller, but then the A's went after one start in Double-A and one start in Triple-A in less than 50 innings in the minors, and Mason Miller immediately became their best starting pitcher, which kudos to Mason Miller. I would say that there are a couple of guys that we've really just moved up, who I think, like Junior Caminero, who's a guy that the Rays picked up in the Nate Lowe trade a couple of years ago. This is what the Rays do. They now I think the Rangers are very happy with that trade. Obviously, you look at what Nathaniel Lowe's done for them, but they got Junior Caminero, who was far, far, far away at the time. He's still in Class A, but he's having an incredible year so far. He's went to High A this year after basically less than a month of Low A time last year. Started the year in the complex. Now I think it's you're kind of checking the calendar and wondering when he goes to Double-A. And he's a guy who has 30, 35 home run potential if it all clicks. That's a guy who, again, if you're not a diehard prospect follower, he was on our Rays top 30 a couple of years ago, but now he's easily a top 10. Now he's a top 100 prospect, and I would expect him to move very much up that list for that Rays list. And speaking of Rays, another guy who's been in our 100, but is still a kind of guy who came out of nowhere. Kyle Manzardo was at Washington State the 2020 kind of the COVID year, and he really hit, but it was 4 weeks. And so he didn't really go that high in the draft, but all he's done ever since the Rays drafted him is he's hit everywhere he's gone as a first baseman. He's now in AAA. I checked it. I'm not looking this up, but I did check this today, so that's why I have it on top of my head. .599 slugging percentage for his career in the minor leagues so far, having moved really pretty quickly. 320 or so batting average, gets on base. That's a guy who the Rays still, as good as this Rays team is, those are a couple of guys who could make them even better later in the year. Obviously, we've already seen that Taj Bradley's another guy who could help him out. And by the way, Tyler Glasnow's in AAA right now, working his way back, which is a good sign for a Rays rotation that has had a couple of injuries.
I've got a Reds question for you. We'll do one fan
Okay.
question today, JJ, from DeBoons. Talk about the Reds not calling up Ellie De La Cruz and Christian Encarnacion Strand. Absolutely no reason. And Matt McLean. And then later added, Reds do not have a first baseman playing musical chairs over there. No reason Encarnacion Strand shouldn't be up. Your thoughts?
If we got this question a month from now, I completely understand it. But Encarnacion Strand just came off the IL. He's been off the IL now, I think, for 8 games. I think he also has 6 home runs or so in that 8 games. So he just came off the IL. And do remember, he was a third baseman before this year. They moved him to first base. Smart move for him. Great arm, but not a whole lot of range there. Now he becomes the logical Joey Votto replacement at first base, as Joey obviously doesn't have that many years left in his career. I would expect the way that Encarnacion Strand is hitting, that it's not that far away, but you do want to get him. He missed some time in spring training, missed the first couple of weeks of the season. If I remember correctly, I think it was an oblique injury, but that's off the top of my head, so I might be off on that. But so he did miss some time. Ellie De La Cruz also missed time. So in Ellie's case also, this is the guy who, it's fine to give these guys a little time to get comfortable in AAA before you bring them up. Matt McLean is another one who's having a great start. The only thing I want to see with Matt McLean, he had a great start to last season. His April last year was great, and then he really wore down as the season went along. His arm backed up, his power backed up. Want to see if he can sustain it over the course of the year. But there was even one more you could mention. This is good news, I guess, for the Reds. Andrew Abbott is another guy to bring up in there. Started the year at Double-A, which was kind of a conservative assignment because he spent most of last year at Double-A. Absolutely lit up Double-A, but there was the question. We talked about those Southern League baseballs. They're a little different. He's gone to Triple-A, and he's been really solid in Triple-A as well. The Reds have a great front of the rotation. They don't have a back of the rotation right now. Andrew Abbott looks like he would fit nicely as the number 4, number 5 starter for a team that does have Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo and Graham Ashcraft at the top of that rotation.
Yeah.
Well said.
Well said.
Yeah, they've got a good system, though.
At
That's
some
what
point,
he's saying.
though, they got to call these guys up and give them a shot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is what, if you're a Reds fan, that's what's going to make the year fun, right? Like,
exactly.
You're not, I mean, the NL Central is wide open for the taking, but I don't think the Reds are going to take it even if it's wide open for the taking. But that said, if you're a Reds fan and you're watching, Ellie De La Cruz does about one thing a day that you go, I can't believe I just saw that. Like, the best example I can give of, I know he's hurt right now, but like what O'Neal Cruz did for the Pirates as far as jaw-dropping plays, Ellie De La Cruz does that. He's incredibly fast. He has one of the best infield arms in baseball. He can make absurd plays because he's a 6'6" shortstop. Oh, yeah, by the way, he can hit the ball 460, 470 feet. He's a switch hitter. There is so much that he can do that that's what's going to make it enjoyable to watch the Reds later this summer. But I also get it. He was injured to start the year and basically doesn't have really much upper-level minor league time and still strikes out a lot. So there is a little bit of that balance of development, or is AAA still not enough of a challenge for him where he's going to have to learn those lessons about chasing a little bit out of the zone in the majors because he's too good at the minors for minor league pitchers to be able to teach him that lesson.
Luke said Caminero was from Cleveland for Tobias Myers. JJ thinking.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. That is right. I got that one wrong. It's a Selvis Masabe who was the Rays, I believe the Rangers one. So, and Heriberto Hernandez.
Oh my God. No.
I apologize. I will now resign in disgrace. But that's right. Thank you.
Good.
Tobias Myers, who was then dropped from the 40-man roster soon after. So that's a very good trade for the Rays.
JJ, do you just sit around and you're the happiest guy in the world now that on MLB.com they can watch minor league games? So do you just have a screen with like 200 games going on at all times so you can watch all these guys and know if they're hitting homers or what?
So I should have at least 5 of them right around me, but I just have all these tablets that I set up on my desk with I'm trying to watch. I do love Big Inning for MLB because that allows me to keep track of all MLB on one screen and then just have like 5 or 6 good minor league matchups on any night. And then the great thing nowadays, I mean, this is something I've been at BA for 20 years. Synergy now allows me to go back and watch, if I want to see every home run that a dude's hitting AA, AAA, I can just dial up that player and say, okay, or wait, let me see we do this for the draft, right? Like, okay, I want to see every slider that Dylan Cruz has faced this year, and you can get that kind of, you could in a minute see something that may have taken you, a month to gather 10 years ago.
Speaking of Dylan Cruz, LSU's not number one anymore.
I know.
What happened? Because they were far and away they're going to win the College World Series going away. Like, they're going to be the best team ever. They have Tommy White, Dylan Cruz, Skeen, the pitcher. They got all these guys. Mm-hmm. What happened?
Okay, two things. One, I think this might be good for them because we've never had a coast-to-coast. We've never had a team start the season number one, go the whole season number one, and win it all. In fact, every team that's come close to it hasn't won it in Omaha. So having a little bit of a reset if you're LSU may not be a bad thing. The SEC is really good. Like, that's one thing also with this. But if you said what's a concern with LSU, we came into the year thinking that their starting pitching, was so deep compared to most everyone else there. But they've really, Paul Skeens is incredible, but they don't have that same depth of the pitching that we thought they were going to have. Had a couple of injuries this year. But also credit to Wake Forest, our new number one. They just also a team that's gone out and done it week after week after week. Wake Forest, they have a pitching lab that's the envy of a lot of MLB teams. There's been a lot of years where it's like, wow, Wake seems like they have the pieces to get it done, and it's never all come together. Well, this year, to their credit, they've got great pitching staff. I mean, a lot of guys with really good arms, but they've also got a pretty solid lineup as well. The great thing about this is that we saw it last year with Tennessee. Tennessee last year during the regular season, that's as dominant a season, I believe, as I'll ever see. But it didn't matter come postseason. Baseball's baseball. The great thing about it is that even if you have a team that looks dominant, I mean, you never know. Right now, we know whoever the A's are playing this week, and I haven't looked at their schedule this week. They got a chance to win a game, even though they're obviously probably going to be way overmatched by whoever they face.
Best name in baseball, Tommy Hawk, guy in Wake Forest. Best name. Their leadoff guy, a little lefty, Tommy Hawk.
Tommy Hawk Chop.
Tommy Hawk, that's his name. I don't know. He's a little lefty, and Tommy Hawk.
It's great. I don't know. Again, a lot better than, he's been great, but James Outman, I mean, I know they're trying to make that into a home run thing, but like, if you're a hitter and your name's Outman, that's just not easy.
Well, Grant Balfour.
Yeah, that's true too.
Balfour. Yeah. Well, I mean, we were tweeting last night on the FT account, and when he did something in extras, they said, "Tough Outman." That's how you take it to a.
That's how you try to make
glass
it
half full. Yeah.
Flip it.
These dad
Bob
jokes
Walk,
brought to you
obviously,
by-
also. If we go way back, Bob Walk.
JJ, always awesome catching up. Wish we had more time. We'll do it again soon. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you. JJ Cooper from Baseball America, and you can catch that new Top 100, baseballamerica.com. They do great stuff there. So let's do our picks first, and then we'll get to a little bit of. Oh, actually, no. Let's do our hot corner first. Okay, because I do want to get your take on this. So let's run hot corner. I have two things: one serious, one fun. Let us start with a little knee drop that I caught over the weekend. Matthew Pouliot, who tweeted this out, he works for NBC. So see the screenshot here? You got the left knee in front of third base. That's Bay sliding into the bag head first. And the comment from Matt was, instead of my usual argument that this is actually obstruction, I'd just like MLB to adopt or clarify a rule that you're not allowed to drop your knee in front of the base when you don't have the ball. If nothing else, it would be good for player safety. I do agree with this. I know there's a physicality component. No. Okay.
No.
So
you want to know how you stop it?
Truck stick them.
Go in with your cleats. Tell them, LoCain. Dude drops a knee. Guess what you do? You go in with your cleats and you freaking spike the crap out of them. Guess what they do next time? They get the hell out of your way.
They'll move. Go in hard with a spike to the leg. I promise you, they'll start to move. So I'm not a big fan of it. Hey, they want to block it. I'll figure out another way to get around it, or I'm going straight into the leg. That's just how it works.
They're in your way.
Anyways.
Go in with the cleats.
How about run them over?
Can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Change that rule.
But they're in front of the bag, giving you no lane. And
So where's he supposed to slide in that?
That's why I'm saying you look at that and you're begging for injury, or I know guys can't run. Someone should do it. And yeah, sure, you can do
Who's going to be the bad guy?
the cleat slide. Ah, man, that's the only time I wish I was playing, where I'm just like, someone's got to do it, because then it'll get talked about. Just literally just run straight into the person. You do not have the baseball. It's a thing. It's just what guys
on stolen
do.
bases, guys do it all the time. I'm sure LoCain will tell you that when he used to steal bases, dudes would drop their knee in front of the base. There's nowhere for the runner to go. That's why you see guys breaking fingers, because they try to get around them. They clip their thumb on the base. That's why they all wear that oven mitt that gives them like 6 extra inches.
And for that, you're trying to slide head first.
Yeah, but
So
you
what do
want to
you do?
stop it. I promise you.
Feet first.
You go feet
yeah.
first and you spike that dude,
Mhm.
they will get out of the way.
Okay.
You usually know the guys that, like to drop the knee in front of the bag. So you go into it thinking like, all right, this guy loves to drop his knee in front of the bag, so I'll be ready and I have my spikes up ready to go. So hey, if you don't want to get spiked, don't drop your knee in front of the bag. It's that simple.
There was a
Solid.
first baseman that I don't want to say. There's some first baseman that used to do it on pickoffs too. They do that.
Drop the knee.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And then guess what? They step right on their ass.
Step on it. Yep.
Guess what they won't do next time? They will not put their knee there.
Mm-hmm.
Good. We solved the world's problems like
Yep.
in a minute. Okay.
But nobody knows how to slide feet first anymore.
It's true.
That's what I'm saying. Is it not happening enough to stop the knee down situation?
Apparently not. If we were showing pictures of Matt Chapman dropping,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's not a lot of guys that do it. It's only a few. It's a select few guys that loves to drop their knee in front of the bag. But like I said, the guys who love to do it going into the game. So you just got to be prepared and ready to go. And you have to just change your slide up. And if you get a few spikes in the knee or leg, I promise you, you'll slowly start to rethink that dropping the knee down in front of the bag.
Curious to see. Matt's a super smart baseball mind. Really good follow. I want to see his response. We'll send it to him. All right, this one's fun. Favorite player in the world for Yoshida is Bryce Harper, and they met. And he's been on that fan club from day one. So Harper was all about it. He gave him signed gear. We've got a lot of coverage of this one, so let's show it. Yoshida was floored to meet him, and he's playing well, so have a time. This is cool to me. This is a player who internationally was a star, and of course he's watching the big leagues and dreaming about playing there, and now here he is as a rookie, and Harper's got 2 signed bats. I think one of the things that he gave him, because I saw cleats there too, something he gave him was from the postseason last year, like something with some value to it.
That's great.
Maybe
for
a
Bryce.
signed bat
It's
or
awesome
something
of
like
Bryce
that.
to do.
Yeah, that's cool. So I was
When
all
another
about it.
player
He
comes-
was thrilled.
Listen, when another player comes up to you and says, "Oh, here you go,"
2 autographed bats. This is from Ian Brown, who covers the team every day, including one he used in the NLCS last year. Yoshida met his idol. That's really cool.
it's really cool. But anytime a player comes up to you, another player, and says, "Hey, can you sign something for me?" Well, yeah, yeah, of course. That's respect from like your peers. Hey, man, you're pretty good, because I'm not asking 26 guy in a roster to sign something. So, mad respect.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's been on in the fan club for a while too. Like he said, I can't find it right off the jump here, but he said some funny lines, like about being a huge Bryce fan, and some Phillies fans were like, "Why didn't we sign him?"
Where are you gonna put him?
I know.
I'll tell you what, he ain't got nowhere to put him.
Phillies are fine. Their offense will be good. Let's do the little pick action. Let's make some money, shall we? Let's first backtrack. As always, accountability is key. Your BetMGM locks for Monday. First going back to Friday. Big whiff for me. Felt like it played out to an extent the way I thought, except for the Guardians not scoring. That whole part of it. I was like, this feels low scoring. So, okay, idiot, take the under. And it was 2-0. Kepler homer, so I lost on my Cleveland money line. I did tell Kratzy on his Mania Ks, and he beat that. So that sucked. But Todd Father going plus 185 on the Tigers to beat the Cardinals. He goes, they're 0 for 10, first game of the series. Nailed it. Great call. So updated money bags for everyone. 16-11. AJ's climbing. 7-12. Don't let him get hot. And LoCain's about to make his 3rd pick ever. He's up 90. Don't let him get hot. Ready for our BetMGM locks of the day for Monday. LoCain, you go first because you're picking on the Cardinals game. What do you see?
Okay. Yeah. So, I know you guys have been down on the Cardinals. Okay. They won on Sunday. This is where they turn things around. Okay. Get on a small little winning streak here. And I picked them to beat the Chicago. I'm going to put down $100 on them. And I expect great things during this series.
Wait, hold on. Did you see who's pitching? I want to make. Did you look at the pitching matchups?
I saw it. Okay?
You saw Stroman.
This is the time. Okay, Stroman's been locked in. Don't get me wrong. He's locked in, but this is the time for the Cardinals to turn things around. We've been down on them the entire show. We've been down on them. Okay, I'm gonna be a little upbeat. I'm gonna get them going. Throw some good juju their way, and they find a way to pull it out.
It's Michaelis tonight on the St. Louis side.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can see it. I
I
mean,
should see it. But Stroman's been so good.
it's plus 110, and
He's
I'm
been
like,
good.
that's it for St. Louis? I thought they would have been like plus 130 or something.
Yeah.
So, I feel like,
It's cold though. It's cold and rainy in Chicago.
yeah, meaning what?
I'm just saying, there's not a lot of offense probably.
I don't know. Cardinals offense looked pretty good yesterday. And it's just a matter of like, when are they going to just light it up on offense? It might not be against Stroman, but maybe Stroman only goes 5 or 6 and they beat up the bullpen.
Okay.
Cubs
Listen,
bullpen's just
listen,
okay.
I like it.
Okay.
You do you, Lo. You pick
All
who you
right.
want to pick. I pick, and I'm wrong all the time. So I
Yep.
get it.
And
Yeah,
we're
wrong.
both
I'm
That's
wrong
baseball.
all the
That's-
time.
That's
We're
the
both
beauty
on
of
the White
baseball.
Sox.
You just never know.
Yeah, well, we're both on the White Sox in different ways tonight. So I've got them. What? I've got
It
them.
was the way you said it.
We're both okay. That's what she said. We have the White Sox at minus 125. I'll take the money line in that one to beat the Royals. I'm just like, Cease is going to turn it around. He's going to adjust. He's giving up a lot of hard contact.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that command faltering long term. I just think that he's going to make the adjustment. His stuff's still good. It's not like, he's like, I don't know. I don't think he's hurt. Obviously, it's not age. He's in the prime of his career. I just think he's had some command issues, and I think he's going to fix it, in my opinion. So, and I think the offense keeps going. I was considering the over for this game too, but I was like, I'm worried that Cease might just like absolutely dominate. So I'll just go White Sox money line. They're minus 125, which to me felt a little light as well. When I went down, I expected like a minus 140. So I said, okay, I'll take it. I know Greinke's coming off like one of his better starts. Although I looked, he went 5 shutout innings last time around, 3 hits. They don't let him go third time through. He had 44 pitches in 5 innings. And they said, see you, Zach. So for me, that's a plus because
He's well rested though.
he is well rested and he might pitch well, but the Royals bullpen stinks.
Mhm.
I know the White Sox bullpen stinks, but I don't know. I see this one like 8-2 tonight for Chicago. So I was considering the run line, but I'm like, just
win, baby.
play it simple right now. You got to get back on a winning streak. You?
Okay. Well, all the things you just said, except you mentioned Dylan Cease, I'm taking over 5.5 Ks. One thing, he might be giving up hard contact, but that dude strikes everybody out. I thought this would be like a 7 number, 7.5 for strikeouts, and only 5.5 because he can punch some dudes out now quick. I know minus 140, but man, I'm thinking like I thought that would be at least a 7.5 number. He's only been going usually about 5 innings, but he still gets his 8-9 punch outs every time.
Yes.
So when he gets an out, it's usually a punch out. Now, dude might hit it hard, but it's usually a punch out when he gets an out. So for me, this was pretty easy. They win or not, unless something crazy happens, he should get 5.5 punch outs against any lineup he throws against.
Yeah, and he's heavily favored to do it, And same thing.
But I thought it'd be like 7 or 8. And then I would have thought about it a little more. That one seemed easy to me.
Yep.
Which I'll be wrong.
If he pitches well, he will hit that mark.
Easy.
It's really just about like, is he in such a mechanical rut that he only goes a few innings because they're hitting him, Otherwise, if he pitches.
It's not like the Royals offense is the 27 Yankees.
No, that's why I'm with you. I would tail the hell out of that right now. As far as strikeouts, though, Royals offense.
I mean, they don't strike out a ton.
Is not a heavy. I'm trying to look that up.
Gets
maybe
over 1 an inning, no matter who he pitches.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No, I agree. I think it's your contact proof kind of pitcher. He can strike out anyone.
Yes.
So I'm with you. All right. So tell us if you'd like, or fade us. We don't care. We have no hard feelings toward you. It's 10 to get 100 instantly, still running for you. If you use the spicy MLB promo code, You sign up and deposit at least $10 into your newly created BetMGM Sportsbook accounts on iOS or Android. Get that app. Place a pregame moneyline wager of at least $10 on any MLB team to win its standard odds price. And you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. If you sign up in Massachusetts or Ohio, it's $200 in bonus bets. Again, Spicy MLB is the promo code. Always bet responsibly. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we have reached the conclusion. But we still have things to do. So let us slap hands. Okay, so first off, Fair Territory is on fire this week with Ken Rosenthal. I got to some of it. Can't wait to listen to the rest. Posted on pod, so check it out. And if you want to see Ken's show and watch it with all the pretty graphics and Ken yelling at the screen on YouTube, it is there for you. So go to youtube.com/@FoulTerritoryShow. And on the playlist there is Fair Territory. It's very easy to find. And then on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, there are multiple ways to get to it. So no excuses. Fair Territory, Foul Territory, whatever you type in, you'll get to Ken. He's got a lot on Dodgers, Padres, Cardinals with Wilson Contreras. Of course, Bryce Harper's comeback gives you the whole wrap-up of the week and what he's hearing from sources around the league. And he's going to backtrack on one team that he had thoughts on. So that's all I'll say. Fair Territory, catch it. Let us know what you think about it. Also, for LoCain, there was one other thing we wanted to show from your special weekend. So it's a play on words. You know where I'm getting to?
He look like he knows what's coming, so I like
He
that.
does or doesn't?
Does not.
No, I think he does.
I don't.
Didn't you receive a very special gift out in KC?
No.
Tell us what you got from your boy Salvi.
Oh man, it's a nice little cane there, you know. I was always complaining my feet hurt all the time, you know, tired. So, you know, I had a little section out in center field called a Raising Canes. So they would walk around with canes. They would have like, you know, old man mask and suits on out there, and yeah, so it was a fun little deal. But that was a pretty neat deal he did for me there.
And it was a golden cane? Is that what it
golden
was?
cane, had stuff engraved in it, so I could put it in the man cave one day and always check it out.
That's
You're not
cool.
going to use it? You always complain, like you said. You always complain on this show about your feet hurting and all this stuff.
Give me like 10 more years, okay? You know, just like 10 more years.
Yeah,
dude, I'm way older than you are.
Hey, LoCain, how many stolen bags did you have?
I don't know, not as many
How
as
much
he did.
outfield did you cover? You can complain about your knees, right?
Yeah, but I don't.
I know. Well, we'll get you something. We'll get you knee pads or something.
Okay, that thing is pretty cool.
That is cool. That is nice.
It was sweet. It was really.
It looks
sweet,
like
you know?
like Noah or Moses with the staff.
Yes, parting the waters.
Yes.
Yes. And I'd like to do a little RIP to a great in this game. Vita Blue passed away this weekend at the age of 73. Thoughts are with the family. And I know a lot of A's fans are really upset at this time as well. Gone too soon, big part of the game at a time period for Oakland A's baseball to really thrive. So we're thinking about anyone that's been connected to Vita Blue in the past who had a personal relationship with him and was a great ambassador to the game as well. And then one more thing we'd like to do here is you've got a buddy who you call games with sometimes. Now, you didn't have him this weekend.
No.
You and Adam Amin were calling almost every week last year.
We do a lot, yeah. We do the playoffs together.
Yeah, you do the playoffs
Adam
together.
Amin,
You've got a lot of Benetti this year,
Benetti.
I've been hearing. Those are two of my favorites.
So I usually have Adam Amin with me when I do games. He does the Bulls every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Bulls play-by-play. He also does NFL on Fox with Mark Schlereth. Well, tonight, we talked about this last week in Miami because we did the game in Miami last week at dinner. And he said, I'm making my DJ debut. And I said, wait, what? So his buddy, someone knows a guy who said, hey, I do a DJ thing on Monday night at this place called Prism in Chicago. So tonight, 10 p.m., Adam Amin. I was like, you got to come up with a cool name, wear a mask. There's all the information. But tonight at 10 o'clock, DJ Adam Amin got an hour set. He's freaking out.
I'm pissed that I didn't get an invite.
He is freaking out because he's like, I want my set list to be good. He's
Yeah.
in for like a month now. He's just done nothing but listen to music and how to. I don't know anything about DJing, how to take one song
Transitions.
to the next. and
I
all
was
that.
just on stage with Chris Lake, who's one of the top DJs on the planet, 2 days ago.
Name drop.
Incredible night. Yeah, I'll take it. Black Book Records for life, baby. But I'm a little pissed that I didn't get an invite, and also just didn't know about this because
He's
I
trying to
felt
keep
like
it quiet because he's like, what if I just completely screw this up? I'm like, dude, first of all, it's a Monday night.
yeah,
It's 10 p.m. So all you ravers haven't really got going yet.
no, and I don't do Monday nights. That's industry nights. That's like
Yes.
you're
But
working.
that's why
the
they want him to
weekends.
do it. They want to try to get people to come
Yeah,
because of his name. But good luck,
play
Adam.
this. Play this. You won't play our theme
No,
song.
you gotta. You know, he has one request. He has got to play a Shaggy song in there.
Okay.
Wasn't me. He's got to get that in there, Adam. If you're listening, you
Yeah,
got to
but I
get
don't
my
know if
favorite.
this is like Prism's like a club, so he's got to get some electronic in there.
Oh no, he
maybe
said
some
it's all
hip-hop.
EDM.
It's all EDM.
Yeah,
Adam,
mostly.
text me. I've got a lot of suggestions for you.
But we have a thing where he had to get. It wasn't me in there for at least just it wasn't. me.
Yeah, well, you can use that in a little transition
Yeah.
to get into some house music. So have a good one, okay? Hey, LoCain, awesome having you back, and congrats again on the retirement ceremony.
Hey, always a pleasure, you guys. I will see you real soon.
Yes.
And yeah, good times coming in the future.
And catch LoCain on Brew Crew territory that gets released tomorrow for Brewers fans. We'll see you on Tuesday. Big guest coming up this week, but I'm not telling until tomorrow. See you then.